Chapter 564. Genius remembers love in 1 second/small? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Wu Lingfei and Lin Yuandao went to meditate and cultivate. Night Sorrow also began to meditate and cultivate, improving his bloodline power and soul power in all aspects. The soul extinguishing slash easily killed Grey Gull, which let Night Sorrow know the power of the soul extinguishing slash. The power of the soul extinguishing slash would also increase as his soul power improved. Night Sorrow also understood that the soul extinguishing slash was not invincible. If the opponent's soul power was strong, then the soul power could resist the soul extinguishing slash. In front of the camp of the Realm Sea, after Tai Shu Yen introduced Bei Tiangu to everyone, the venerables of the eastern and northern Shen domains were in high spirits, especially the venerables of the northern Shen domain. They all knew Bei Tianji's fame as the Northern Sky Sword Venerable. He was a true invincible venerable who had killed many venerables. The momentum is not bad. There is no oppressive aura before a big battle. It is rare to see such a high fighting spirit. Bei Tiangu said after arriving at Tai Shu Yan's tent. Because of our confidence, we fought with the Qingtian region twice and gained the upper hand. The first time was in the battlefield of the Eastern Shen region, where Lord Wu Kei killed many venerables. A few days ago we killed them again. We suffered some losses, but the Qingtian region's losses were heavier. Tai Shu Yan said. The Eastern Shen region and Tianji Tower are indeed powerful. Lord Wu Kei used to be an invincible venerable. Now that she has entered the Saint Realm, she is even more amazing. Even the veteran saints can't compete with her. Therefore, it is very difficult for the Qingtian region to achieve anything. Bei Tiangu said. The Qingtian region has always been arrogant. They have always regarded themselves as the overlord of the 9 domains. That is because they have not provoked any ruthless people. This time they have provoked Lord Wu Kei in the Eastern Shen region. Consider them unlucky. Tai Shu Yen said. The Eastern Shen region's momentum is extraordinary. However, our Northern Sea region is also eating fat meat under the leadership of City Lord Taishu. Bei Tiangu said. Why do I feel awkward listening to your words? Did I, Tai Shu Yen, let your Bei Tian clan eat bones? Or did I make your Bei Tian clan angry? Tai Shu Yen looked at Bei Tiangu with dissatisfaction. I'm not joking. I'm being serious. This is an era of chaos. If we make the right choice, our Northern Sea region will rise to power. The rise of the Eastern Shen region will be unstoppable. That young man today is indeed powerful. He will be extraordinary in the future. At the very least, he will be an invincible venerable. Bei Tiangu said. Hearing about it and actually experiencing it was completely different. Today, Bei Tiangu had experienced how heaven-defying Night Sorrow was. He's from the Eastern Shen region, and he's also a Tianji Tower's celestial extremity envoy. He's only 20 years old and he doesn't lack resources. The Eastern Shen region and Tianji Tower will do their best to nurture him, so it's certain that he'll rise quickly. How many years would it take for a very young invincible warrior to travel unhindered? This period of time is the time for the Eastern Shen region and Tianji Tower to develop, Tai Shu Yen said. So it's right for City Lord to ally with the Eastern Shen region. It's mainly because of the relationship with the Tianji Tower. City Lord, your position as the Deputy Chief of Tianji Tower is not fake, Bei Tiangu said. I believe in Lord Wu Quebec. The Eastern Shen region is different from the Qingtian region. The Qingtian region is too shameless, so we have to beat them, Tai Shu Yen said as she brewed a pot of tea. Night Sorrow stabilized his cultivation base for a few days. After his true Qi cultivation base was completely stabilized, he went all out to improve his cultivation base at full speed. It's really strange that there's no movement from the Qingtian region, Wu Lingfei said after another cultivation session. They're shameless but they're not stupid. They must know that Bei Tiangu is coming so they won't attack if they're not sure, Lin Yuandao said. Then we'll wait. If they don't come, we'll cultivate. The longer we delay, the better it will be for us, Wu Lingfei said. For Wu Lingfei and Lin Yuandao, time meant cultivation base. Lin Yuandao was the chief of Tianji Tower, so he didn't lack resources. Wu Lingfei's resources were even more abundant, and the Crystal of Life was the most suitable cultivation resource for her. The Crystal of Life was transformed from the cultivation of the fallen life saintess in the death space. Under the premise of the same attribute, Wu Lingfei's cultivation was twice the result with half the effort. It could be said that she could quickly improve her cultivation base by absorbing and refining the energy of the Crystal of Life. In addition, Guoxiao took the Fire Attribute Origin Stone to cultivate. If there was enough time, there would be a chance for a saint to appear in the Tianji Tower. Even if they didn't break through, they would be at least a half-step saint, which would crush the venerables of the Qingtian region. Let's eat. Night Sorrow shouted to Lin Yuandao and Wu Lingfei. Today Night Sorrow was roasting the gazelles caught by Tianyu. With the intention of cultivating here for a long time, Night Sorrow released Tianyu and Silver Fox from the beast taming space. This way the two beasts would grow faster. Night Sorrow, you're good at everything. You're also first class at roasting prey, Lin Yuandao said. I used to be the best hunter in our village. Sometimes I had to hunt for several days to solve the problem of food and clothing. That's how I developed my skills, Night Sorrow said as he cut the roast meat. The best hunter? You were still very young at that time. Lin Yuandao took the roast meat that Night Sorrow handed over and asked. I started hunting with the villagers when I was 13 years old. When I was 15 years old, I got the most prey every time I went hunting. That was also the year I came out of the mountains and entered the Medicine Valley. Night Sorrow was a little emotional. After a few years, everything had changed. The villagers of Zhiyuan village no longer had to worry about being eaten by beasts. They all lived a good life. A few years. These few years are really extraordinary, Lin Yuandao said as he drank and ate the roast meat. After eating, Night Sorrow played with Tianyu and Silver Fox for a while. Then he continued to cultivate his spear art and his realm. Junior Sister Wu, do you think this guy doesn't know what fatigue is? Isn't he bored? Lin Yuandao asked as he looked at Night Sorrow who was cultivating. Only genuine N, all other N equals yes asterisk 2 pirated version square root V. Look at his expression. He is completely enjoying himself. He treats cultivation as a form of enjoyment. How can he feel tired and bored? Wu Lingfei was also very impressed with Night Sorrow's state. After cultivating his spear art for a while, Night Sorrow returned to his tent and started cultivating with the black tortoise spirit crystal. The spacetime pagoda could help Night Sorrow cultivate his soul power, true chi cultivation and bloodline power. However, it couldn't help with the cultivation of the myriad Dao tome. Therefore, Night Sorrow had to use the black tortoise spirit crystal. At this time, many people were sitting in the command tent of the Qingtian region's Donghua city camp. There were people from the Qingtian region's city lord mansion, people from the major clans of the Qingtian region, and people from the other subordinate forces of the Sanyuan region and the Weiming region. City Lord, the Sikong clan's response is that the clan master and Venerable Lu Yun are in seclusion and can't participate in this region war at the moment, a venerable in a gray robe said to Jiu Fenglan, who looked very upset. This is an excuse. What does the Sikong clan want to do? Are they not willing to contribute to the Qingtian region? Jiu Fenglan, who was sitting in the main seat, slammed the table and growled. Give them an ultimatum. If the Sikong clan doesn't participate in the war, we will destroy them first, a man with a sinister look said. Chapter 565. Genius 1 second. Remember Love Go divided by Shao? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. That's not appropriate. It'll be counterproductive, said an elder of the Qingtian City Lord Mansion. Do you have a good idea, Elder Feng? Wu Di looked at the elder and asked. The Sikong family is a top family in the Qingtian region. What are you trying to do? Feng Yuanjia looked at Wu Di and said. In the Qingtian region, the Sikong family wasn't as powerful as the Ji family, but it was still a top family and had friendly relations with the Feng family, which Feng Yuanjia belonged to. Wu Di's attitude made him very unhappy. If they can't contribute to the war, what's the point of keeping them? Jiu Yuanhang said. When we go to war, it's up to them. When we went to war in the 3 Yuan region, Venerable Lu Yun said that the Sikong family wasn't interested in the war. However, if the Qingtian region is attacked, the Sikong family will definitely fight. Isn't that attitude enough? Now that you want to attack the Sikong family, can I see it as you trying to get rid of the dissidents? Feng Yuanjia stood up angrily. Elder Feng, you think too much. Sit down and let's talk. Jiu Fenglan glanced at the others and gestured with his arm. Jiu Fenglan was angry, but he couldn't do anything because many elders of the City Lord Mansion had stood up just now. Obviously, they were very unhappy with Jiu Yuanhang's attitude. Baidu search AI Go female sign Shao say www.ichuxs. The Sikong family was very famous in the Qingtian region. When Jiu Yuanhang said that he wanted to get rid of the Sikong family, the people were angry. In the end, they came to the conclusion that they would continue to unite with other forces and look for other top venerables. The first one they would look for was Venerable Wu Hen Shui Wuling. They didn't have the strength to take down the Eastern Xian region and the Northern Xi region, so the Qingtian region would have to wait. After that, the others left the tent. Jiu Fenglan asked Jiu Yuanhang to stay. The Sikong family can't be left alive, but sometimes it depends on the situation. It's not appropriate to mention the situation just now. Jiu Fenglan waved his hand and set up a defensive shield to isolate sound and detection, then looked at Jiu Yuanhang and said. Yuanhang heard Wu Di's suggestion, so he added fuel to the fire, said Yuanhang. Wu Di is indeed powerful, but his fame, reputation and influence are not that great. His opinion is just for show. In the future we still need to pay more attention to those elders in the city. You go and make the arrangements. Set fire to our family's base in Bailing City, and kill a few outer members. You know what to do. Jiu Fenglan said to Jiu Yuanhang. I'm going to update for soon. Jiu Fenglan felt that now was the best time to strike at the Sikong family. The base of Jiu family in Bailing City was destroyed. Naturally, the Sikong family would be blamed for that. That would be a reason for a dispute. After pausing briefly, Jiu and Yuanhang went to make the arrangements. Watching Jiu Yuanhang leave, Jiu Fenglan sighed. Right now he was feeling sad. His path of cultivation was cut off, and his body was severely injured by Wu Lingfei. It would be very difficult for him to recover, and it could be said that he had no chance at all. Since he couldn't achieve anything himself, Jiu Fenglan focused all his energy on developing his family's power. This war between the Qingtian domain and the Eastern Shen domain was not only a domain war for Jiu Fenglan, but also an opportunity to expand his family's power. Jiu family's development in the Qingtian domain had reached a bottleneck. If they wanted to develop, they needed some extraordinary strategies. Now, Jiu Fenglan's plan was to weaken the Sikong family's power first. The Sikong family knew that this was an extraordinary period, so they didn't want to get involved in this. Sikong Chending's strategy was to seek stability and get through this extraordinary period safely. As for the Jiu family's attack with force, Sikong Tianding wasn't afraid. Even if the Jiu family could defeat the Sikong family, they would lose their reputation in the Qingtian domain. By then, all the families and sects in the Qingtian domain would reject the Jiu family, which would make the development of the Jiu family more difficult. Besides, the Sikong family also had the ability to inflict heavy losses on the Jiu family. Although the ancestor of the Sikong family wasn't a saint or an invincible venerable, the strength of a peak venerable was something that everyone had to consider. Knight Sorrow had a very comfortable time every day. When he wasn't cultivating, he would go to the Realm Sea to catch a few fish and make them into grilled fish to go with wine. This made Lin Yuandao speechless. At present, only cultivators below the 5th level and saints could enter the Realm Sea at will. However, Knight Sorrow had broken this common sense. In addition, as time passed, more and more experts gathered in West Sea City, suppressing the Qingtian domain's forces in terms of strength. Tianji Tower's network was very wide. The branches of the 9 domains had some communication with some rogue cultivators, so it was normal to invite them to participate in the war. It could be said that if Tianji Tower wanted a real war, they could use all their trump cards to sweep the Qingtian domain. Of course, they had to eliminate the factor of Jiu Haitian. Auntie Fei, you are a saint, and so is the Chief Tower Master. If Chief Supervisor Gua and Elder Li enter the Saint Realm, will we be able to solve the problem at the root? Knight Sorrow asked. No, we can defeat Jiu Haitian, but if he wants to run away it will be difficult to kill him. If we can't kill him, he will be a big hidden danger. It's very difficult to suppress the crazy revenge of a saint, Wu Lingfei said. She knew very well what Knight Sorrow meant. We have to be absolutely sure that we can do this. Otherwise, the consequences will be very serious, Lin Yuandao said. Knight Sorrow nodded and didn't say anything else. He understood Wu Lingfei and Lin Yuandao's worries. If a saint went crazy without any worries, other than saints who could resist him, the others would be killed. After chatting for a while, Knight Sorrow returned to his tent to cultivate. There were some things that he wanted to help with, but he was powerless and helpless. We can think about Knight Sorrow's words. If we use the Sky Amplification Disc Array, we still have a chance, Lin Yuandao said. If we don't have more than 70% confidence, don't touch him. We want stability. The longer we drag it out, the better it will be for us. Therefore, there is no need to consider radical methods, Wu Lingfei said. Wu Lingfei knew her own situation. With the help of the life crystal, Wu Lingfei's strength had improved very quickly. In terms of personal combat strength, it was only a matter of time before she surpassed Jiu Haitian. Therefore, Wu Lingfei wasn't in a hurry. She just wanted to stabilize the situation. While the two of them were talking, Taixian and Hua Haining came over. Hua Haining had received some news that the Qingtian region had found another invincible venerable, who was an emperor of the Tianfeng dynasty of the Taiqing region. There was also another piece of news. Something had happened in Bailing City, which was controlled by the Sikong family. Jiyu family had burned down their stronghold. This was very vicious, but the Sikong family had a way to deal with it. The Sikong family caught a group of bandits on the same day and beheaded them in public for causing trouble in Bailing City. They also emphasized that the bandits had attacked Jiyu family's stronghold. Chapter 566. Genius 1 second. Remember love go divided by little? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Hearing Jiyu Yuanhong's report, the corners of Jiyu Fenglan's eyes twitched. It seems that Sikong Luyun and Sikong Yuanshan were already prepared. Baidu search Love Gong Xiao say www.achux.com. Patriarch. This matter was not handled by Sikong Luyun and Sikong Yuanshan, but by Sikong Yuanshan's son, Sikong Tianding. He is currently in charge of the Sikong family, said Jiyu Yuanhang. Carefully investigate the background of this Sikong heavenly cauldron, as well as its growth experience. Organize everything big or small and bring it to me. Jiyu Fenglan waved his hand at Jiyu Yuanhang. At this moment he felt a little tired, both mentally and physically. Jiyu Fenglan originally planned to use the excuse that the Sikong family was hindering the Sikong family from behind to punish the Sikong family. However, the Sikong family acted too quickly. They directly exterminated the mountain bandits and used the mountain bandits as an excuse to push the boat along the current, which made Jiyu Fenglan's excuse slip away. Love Gong little say W. Chu. Faced with such a situation, Jiyu Fenglan had to say that the Sikong family handled it well even though they were competitors. Therefore he attached great importance to Sikong Tianding. This was also the reason why he asked Jiyu Yuanhang to investigate Sikong Tianding. At this moment, in the last pavilion of the Sikong family, Sikong Luyun and an old man with tiger-like eyes and a lion's mouth were sitting quietly. Sikong Tianding was opposite them. Tianding, you did well this time. The Jiyu family is indeed shady. You must be very careful and cautious, said the old man with tiger-like eyes and a lion's mouth. Don't worry, father. Tianding will be careful. Sikong Tianding nodded and said, in troubled times, being in charge of a family is like treading on thin ice. It must be hard for you to be careful. The old man with tiger-like eyes and a lion's mouth nodded at Sikong Tianding. He was the current head of the Sikong family, Sikong Yuanshan, and also Sikong Tianding's father. Father, you're exaggerating. Tianding should contribute to the family. Besides, according to the current development of the situation, even if the Qingtian region joins forces with other forces and accumulates their strength, they won't be able to suppress the Eastern Profound region and the Northern Sea domain. They're getting stronger and stronger, said Sikong Tianding. Lord Golden Phoenix's strength is one thing. In addition, she traveled to the 9 regions and 18 prefectures in the past and left a very high reputation. The Eastern Xian region that she leads is completely different from the Eastern Xian region of the past, Sikong Luyun said. Over at the North Sea region, the Deshu clan and the Beitian clan have both started the war. Sword Venerable Beitian has also arrived at the Taiyue domain's West Sea city. The main reason is that the Tianji Tower is fully supporting the Eastern Xian region in this war. This is also one of the main reasons why the scales of victory are tilted towards the Eastern Xian region, Sikong Tianding said. The Tianji Tower is a force that can change the situation of the 9 regions, not to mention just a little influence. If it weren't for Jiyu Haitian, the Qingtian region would have changed directly, Sikong Luyun said. Tianding has asked around. Lord Golden Phoenix entered the Saint Realm with the attribute of life. When her cultivation stabilizes and improves a little, Jiyu Haitian won't be her opponent, Sikong Tianding said. It's not that we don't want to fight for the Qingtian region, but we don't want to be associated with the Jiyu clan. Jiyu clan might do something again. You have to be careful, Sikong Luyun said. Tianding will do it. Besides, I will also communicate with the elders of the City Lord Mansion and other families. The Jiyu clan can't do whatever they want, Sikong Tianding said. You still have to plan for both sides. It's best if you can withstand a battle of wits, but you have to be prepared for a battle, Sikong Luyun said. Sikong Tianding nodded. He also had this plan, which was to transfer the young disciples and potential members of the family. That way they wouldn't have to worry about fighting with the Jiyu clan. Night Sorrow cultivated for a while and then left the tent. After leaving the tent, Night Sorrow saw Tai Shu Yen and the others discussing something. He made tea and served them. After the discussion, Wu Lingfei and the others chatted casually. Night Sorrow, Sword Venerable North Heaven has a very outstanding granddaughter called North Heaven Wuxia. He wants to marry her to you, Tai Shu Yen said. Don't? I have someone now. Night Sorrow hurriedly waved his hand. He didn't want to have this kind of trouble. It seems that you're still very calm. Then let's not talk about this, Tai Shu Yen said with a smile. After chatting for a while, Tai Shu Yen and Hua Haining left the mountain and went to the camp. We've communicated with all the forces and people in the Qingtian region. Now that we can only mobilize so much power, it seems that we won't be able to make any waves, Lin Yuandao said. We'll just continue the confrontation. I didn't think that the Tianfeng dynasty would dare to participate in the war. They must be tired of living, Wu Lingfei said with killing intent in her words. How should I say this? Since the disappearance of the Moon Empress Yi Tian, the Taiqing region has been in chaos. Yun Tianlong doesn't care about the city lord's mansion, so the Tianfeng dynasty thinks that they're the boss, Lin Yuandao said. Remember this and we'll deal with it slowly in the future. Wu Lingfei's eyes emitted a cold light. The Tianfeng dynasty coming to fight the Eastern Shen region was no different from slapping her face, so she was extremely angry. Let's talk about it after we've calmed down. The dynasties in the Taiqing region are still squeezing Tianji Tower. This matter isn't over yet. We'll deal with them later, Lin Yuandao said. Wu Lingfei nodded. She knew that she could only endure it for now. The current battle situation was the most critical, and it was no longer the Eastern Shen region's matter. Aunt Fei, how many dynasties are there in the Taiqing region? Night Sorrow asked. There are only 6 that can be called dynasties. There are still many small forces, Wu Lingfei said. Chapter 4, Section Unspecified Currency X. Night Sorrow nodded. Although he still wanted to ask about the situation in the Taiqing region, he didn't ask. Wu Lingfei shook her head. How could she not know what was on Night Sorrow's mind? She also knew that Night Sorrow was under a lot of pressure. The days passed peacefully. Night Sorrow did nothing but cultivate, which made Lin Yuandao a little worried. He was afraid that Night Sorrow would be tired from cultivating like this, so he discussed with Wu Lingfei about Night Sorrow. The battle shouldn't start in a short time. Why don't we let him go back first? Cultivating like this will make people sick. No matter how strong his heart is, he's still young. This is an indisputable fact, Lin Yuandao said to Wu Lingfei. Indeed, junior sister neglected this point. Let's arrange something for him to do. Let him and Xikong Chuyu go to the Qingtian region and visit the Xikong clan, Wu Lingfei said. That's good. This will also show our attitude. As long as the Xikong clan doesn't mess with the Jiyu clan, we'll recognize them as friends, Lin Yuandao said. Then it's settled. Let Night Sorrow go there. He can also propose marriage. Wu Lingfei nodded and went to Night Sorrow's tent. Chapter 567. Genius Remembers Love in 1 Second/Small? I will provide you with wonderful novels to read. Auntie Fei. Night Sorrow stood up and greeted her. Come out and brew a pot of tea, Wu Lingfei said to Night Sorrow. Following Wu Lingfei out of the tent, Night Sorrow brewed a pot of tea. It was the Tao Comprehension tea that Wu Lingfei had brought out. Forever, free to read novels. Night Sorrow drank 2 mouthfuls and felt that the Tao Comprehension tea was indeed a divine product. The tea was sweet and pleasant, making him feel as if everything had calmed down. Then Lin Yuandao told him the result of his discussion with Wu Lingfei. Alright, I will make a trip. Night Sorrow will definitely complete the task that Lord K Master and Auntie Fei gave me, Night Sorrow said. There are some things that you can decide. You are now the Tianji Tower's celestial terminus envoy. You can decide on the matters of Tianji Tower and we will accept it, Lin Yuandao said. It's the same for the Eastern Shen region. Although your current duty is to guard and enforce the law, you have Aunt Fei's medallion and can represent her. This time, you will be representing the Eastern Shen region, said Wu Lingfei to Yishang. Then I will be going. Auntie Fei, Chief K Master, you too be careful, Night Sorrow said as he tightened his grip on the reincarnation spear and put Silver Fox into the beast-taming space. Also, with the Celestial Terminus Envoy's token, you can use our Tianji Tower's teleportation array as you wish. This is the map of the teleportation array. You must keep it well. Lin Yuandao took out a beast skin map and handed it to Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow understands. Night Sorrow put the beast skin map into his storage ring and nodded to Lin Yuandao. Also, follow your heart when doing things. You don't need to look at anyone's face. If the Xikong family really gives you any face, then come back. Auntie Fei will take care of it then, Wu Lingfei said. She didn't want Night Sorrow to suffer any grievances. Riding the Tianyu, Night Sorrow arrived at the teleportation array at the edge of West Sea City before returning to the Pure Heart Villa. In Qingxing Cottage, Night Sorrow unexpectedly saw Aoi and Gong Xian. Aoi, who was chatting with Yang Lei and Sikong Chuyu, said with a smile, "You've been gone for so long. Eldest senior brother and I have been here for half a month. I went to the Realm Sea near West Sea City. The situation there was a bit tense, so I stayed there for a while." Night Sorrow took the tea Yang Lei handed him and said, "How's the situation over there?" Sikong Chuyu asked. Night Sorrow then explained the situation over there and why he had returned. "I see. It seems like you're going to leave after a few days," Yang Lei said with a disappointed tone. "Yes. It's more important to communicate with the Sikong clan. Aunt Fei doesn't want the Sikong clan to get involved in this mess." Night Sorrow nodded. "It's not a big deal for ninth senior sister to come with us. My parents aren't people who are difficult to talk to. It's only a matter of time before we meet," Sikong Chuyu said. She was very happy to be going home. The dinner was sumptuous. Everyone drank some wine casually. After that, Night Sorrow went to check on the god-slaying team. Only then did he return to the main building to rest. Knowing that Night Sorrow was very tired, the two women did not let Night Sorrow do anything. The three of them had a simple night's rest. After washing up, the three of them went to the dining hall. Gong Xian and Aoi were already waiting for them. 13. Eldest senior brother is really impressed by your cultivation base. Gong Xian, who had just advanced to the 5th level of the Void Inquiry stage, happened to be able to see Night Sorrow's cultivation base. "As I cultivate, my cultivation base will rise," Night Sorrow said with a smile. "It's easy for you to say that. However, 6th senior sister also needs to prepare for her breakthrough. When you guys come back, we'll celebrate for her," Aoi said to Night Sorrow. Love, Gone Little, Say, W. Chu. After having breakfast, Night Sorrow and the other two left Qing Xang Courtyard and headed to the strategic teleportation formation of Tianji Tower. Ordinary teleportation formations could also be used, but they were not suitable for Night Sorrow and the other two. Night Sorrow was registered in the Qingtian region. If they took ordinary teleportation formations, they would be easily targeted. That would be dangerous. The people of the Qingtian region wished that they could strangle Night Sorrow to death. In addition, ordinary teleportation formations could not reach Qingtian City directly. There were still a few sections of the journey that needed to be flown. It was very troublesome. When they arrived at the small courtyard where the teleportation formation of Tianji Tower was hidden, the three of them put on their masks. Then, Night Sorrow led the way to the teleportation formation in the courtyard. "Greetings, Heavenly Extremity Emissary." The two old men who were guarding the teleportation formation bowed. "Teleport. Our destination is Qingtian City." Night Sorrow took out the token of the Heavenly Extremity Emissary and said. Then the three of them began the teleportation. After every stage of the teleportation, Night Sorrow only needed to report their destination. The members of Tianji Tower who were guarding the teleportation formation would then teleport them according to the best route. After a few teleportations, the three of them arrived at the underground palace of the Heavenly Extremity Pavilion. "Greetings, Heavenly Extremity Emissary." Tianxing bowed to the three of them. "Lord Tianxing is too polite. Can we teleport to Beiling City from here?" Night Sorrow asked. "No, this teleportation formation is the key of the key. It's only connected to two strategic teleportation formations and the secret tower," Tianxing answered. Night Sorrow nodded. He felt that now that he had time, he wanted to take a look at the blueprints of Tianji Tower's teleportation formation. He had come in too much of a hurry and hadn't paid attention. After thinking for a while, Night Sorrow didn't go to the secret tower. After bidding farewell to Tianxing, the three of them sat on the beast carriage and walked toward the mansion district of Tianji Tower. Using the teleportation formation too many times would make one's body a little uncomfortable. Night Sorrow didn't mind. He wanted to take the two girls to mansion number 9 to rest. They wouldn't miss a day to go to Beiling City. After an inspection, the three of them entered the mansion district and arrived at mansion number 9. Kei Xiang brewed a pot of tea for the three of them. "This is too fast. We were tens of millions of miles away in the morning, and we're already drinking tea in the mansion in the afternoon," Sikong Chuyu said with some emotion. After taking a sip of tea, Night Sorrow thought for a while and asked, "Chuyu, can I propose marriage for myself?" "Yes. There shouldn't be anything wrong with it," Sikong Chuyu said with a red face. "Ninth senior sister, what's suitable as a betrothal gift?" Night Sorrow asked. "You're asking me? I've never experienced this before," Yang Lei said with a smile. In the end, the three of them discussed for a while. Night Sorrow decided to use life crystals and spiritual liquid origins as betrothal gifts. These were also resources that would be useful to Sikong Chuyu's parents. Night Sorrow originally wanted to offer 7 life crystals, but Sikong Chuyu felt that it was too much and wasn't suitable. One had to know that a single life crystal was an incredible treasure. She meant that good things came in pairs. 2 pieces of life crystals would be enough for each of her parents. That night, Night Sorrow was a little apprehensive. This was because to him, this was a major event in his life. He didn't know what the personalities of Sikong Chuyu's parents were or if they were difficult to talk to. After a night's rest, the 3 of them woke up early. Night Sorrow put on a set of pure white loose robes. Sikong Chuyu helped Night Sorrow comb his hair before leaving. The 3 of them set off early mainly because they didn't want to be noticed. Chapter 568. Geniuses remember love in 1 second go? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Everyone in the Qingtian region knew that this war wasn't just between the Qingtian region and the Eastern Xian region. Many forces were involved, and the most obvious ones were Qianji Tower and the North Sea region. Therefore, it was reasonable for the guards of Qingtian City to treat Night Sorrow's group with hostility when they wore Qianji Tower masks. Night Sorrow didn't care about the hostile gazes at all. No matter what, the guards still had to help them teleport. After all, the Qingtian region hadn't declared war on Qianji Tower. After arriving at Bailing City, the 3 of them stepped out of the teleportation array. It feels familiar. Night Sorrow, 9th senior sister, this is where I grew up, Sikong Chuyu said excitedly. Then when we're done, you have to bring 9th senior sister and me around, Night Sorrow said. Night Sorrow, Chuyu, you should find an inn for me to rest first. Night Sorrow wants to propose marriage, but who brings a woman to propose marriage? This isn't appropriate. It'll make people dislike you and make them think that you're here to show off, Yang Lei said. 9th senior sister, it's fine. My parents aren't that kind of person, Sikong Chuyu said. If it's really fine, then come find me at the inn. Yang Lei had already made up her mind. She didn't want to cause trouble for Night Sorrow and Sikong Chuyu. Night Sorrow and Sikong Chuyu glanced at each other and didn't force Yang Lei. In the end, Sikong Chuyu found an inn that was closest to the Sikong family's residence and was also patrolled by the Sikong family's guards. He arranged for Yang Lei to enter while Night Sorrow and Sikong Chuyu took off their masks. Go. Night Sorrow, believe in yourself. You're the most outstanding. You can easily pass this hurdle, Yang Lei said as she hugged Night Sorrow. If things go smoothly, then I'll propose marriage to Master when we return. Night Sorrow patted Yang Lei's back. He could feel that Yang Lei was also looking forward to it. They were both his women, so Night Sorrow wouldn't favor one and discriminate against the other. After leaving the inn, Night Sorrow and Sikong Chuyu casually bought some gifts on the streets and entered the Sikong family's residence, which was even grander than the city lord's residence. City. Seeing Sikong Chuyu, the guards on duty all bowed to greet her. Sikong Chuyu was the young miss of the Sikong clan, a true direct descendant. Surrounded by rows of guards, Sikong Chuyu brought Yishang deep into the Sikong family's mansion. It had to be said that the Sikong family's residence was extremely huge. It was a bit of an exaggeration to say that it occupied 1,000 miles, but it had a radius of a few hundred miles. When they were still some distance away from Sikong Chuyu's residence, the 2 of them were stopped. Cousin, you really dared to bring him back. Who is he? A disciple of an unranked sect. Is he worthy to come to my Sikong family? Chuyu, who had looked down on Night Sorrow in the Longquan courtyard, blocked Night Sorrow and Sikong Chuyu's path. What does it have to do with you? Sikong Chuyu was a bit angry when she heard Chuyu looking down on Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow was her man. Looking down on Night Sorrow was like slapping her face. It has nothing to do with me personally, but this concerns the Sikong family's honor. Cousin, you're the Sikong family's young Mississippi. How can you be so casual? Chuyu had no intention of giving way. You still know that I'm the Sikong family's young miss? Is the honor of the Sikong family something you can casually judge? Back off. Sikong Chuyu was enraged by Chuyu's repeated pestering, and his temper exploded. Most UK new chapter O section above M_. Then I want to see how third uncle will deal with this. Chuyu retreated, but she didn't leave. She still wanted to follow behind Night Sorrow and Sikong Chuyu. Chuyu, what's there to be angry about? You're about to see uncle and auntie, so be happy. Night Sorrow patted Sikong Chuyu's shoulder and said, Show off. In a moment, my third uncle will chop off your dog paws, Chuyu, who was following behind Night Sorrow and Sikong Chuyu, said. Just shut up. I don't even want to take a look at your cousin, Chu Heng. There's a limit to how much you can do. Sikong Chuyu turned around and said impatiently. He also told her about the news that Chuyu had been attacking Night Sorrow. Cousin, what's the point of being so overbearing? Don't forget that I'm also the Sikong family's young miss, and my mother is also an elder of the Sikong family. Chuyu's words became sharp when Sikong Chuyu called her shameless. We are cousins, but please remember that your surname is Chu, and my surname is Sikong. This is the Sikong family. If you continue to talk nonsense with me, I don't mind calling the guards over to take you down. You can try and see if they will listen to you or me. Sikong Chuyu's tone was a little cold. This wasn't because Sikong Chuyu didn't care about their sisterhood. It was because Chuyu had been competing with Sikong Chuyu ever since they were young. Sikong Chuyu didn't care about some small matters, but when it came to Night Sorrow, she wouldn't give in at all. This was her bottom line. Chuyu's expression became unnatural when she heard Sikong Chuyu's words. She really didn't dare to compete on this point. Even if Sikong Chuyu didn't compete, the position of the Sikong family's young miss was there. It wasn't something she could compare to. Sikong Chuyu ignored the silent Chuyu and pulled Night Sorrow's arm. The two of them walked towards the interior of the residence. The Sikong family was the core of the Sikong family, and the living area was also the core of this large courtyard. After walking for a while, the two of them, or rather, the two of them led a tail, arrived in front of a courtyard. The tail was naturally Chuyu. Night Sorrow, this is where I live. Sikong Chuyu pointed at the courtyard with the Heavenly Cauldron residence's lintel. Night Sorrow reached out and tidied his robes because they were about to get to the main topic. No matter how well you take care of it, it's still a dog in disguise. Chuyu couldn't help but speak again to attack Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow turned around and glanced at Chuyu. He felt that he had met all kinds of people and even bitches, but he had never seen someone as bitchy as Chuyu. Ignoring Chuyu, Sikong Chuyu pulled Night Sorrow into the Heavenly Cauldron residence. However, Chuyu didn't enter because she saw someone familiar. It was her aunt, a deacon of the Sikong family, Chu Zhongfei. The Sikong family was a colossus in the Qingtian region. Not everyone in the family had the surname Sikong. There were some small subsidiary families with different surnames. The Chu family was one of them. Chu Zhongfei greeted Chuyu when she saw her. Chuyu quickly explained the situation and pulled Chu Zhongfei into the Heavenly Cauldron residence. In the small garden of the Heavenly Cauldron residence, a middle-aged couple was playing chess. The man sat there with the aura of a superior. He was the current head of the Sikong family, Sikong Tianding. The woman sitting opposite Sikong Tianding had a graceful and luxurious aura. She was the eldest miss of the Yunwu Mountain and the wife of the current head of the Sikong family, Yang Yu. Father, mother, I'm back. Sikong Chuyu shouted from afar. Sikong Tianding and Yang Yu put down the chess pieces in their hands and turned to look at their precious daughter. You still know to come back. Don't be so shameless. Quickly let go of him and let mother see if you've lost weight. Yang Yu waved at her daughter. Sikong Chuyu let go of Night Sorrow and went to Yang Yu's side to hold her hand. Chapter 569. Genius remembers love in 1 second/small? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. I've heard of the name Night Sorrow many times. You're not bad. Don't stand on ceremony. Have a seat. Someone serve the tea. Sikong Tianding pointed at a chair beside Night Sorrow and then called out to the servants who were waiting outside the garden. Thank you. Night Sorrow cupped his hands and sat down again. Chuyu, why didn't you tell your grandfather that you've been away for so long? He's very worried about you. Yang Yu pulled Sikong Chuyu's hand and said, I didn't want to bring trouble to my grandfather. That's why I left the Cloud Mist Mountain. Sikong Chuyu said, Mother knows that you're sensible. The family has received the letter you wrote. Your Aunt Tianyu also told us about the situation when she came back. Yang Yu said to her daughter while sizing up Night Sorrow. Come have some tea. Sikong Tianding held a teacup and nodded at Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow held the teacup with both hands and cupped his hands at Sikong Tianding. Then he took a small sip. I know about your situation. If you have nothing to do in the future, just come to my house and have a chat. Sikong Tianding looked at Night Sorrow. He felt a little strange because when Sikong Tianyu came back, he said that Night Sorrow was at the peak of the 5th level of the Void Inquiry stage. Now Night Sorrow was already at the 8th level of the Void Inquiry stage. The difference between the two was huge. Upper percent G. Thank you, uncle. Night Sorrow nodded. At this time, Chu Zhongfei and Chu Yu also arrived at the small garden. Chu Zhongfei then reported some family matters. Sikong Tianding waved his hand and had Chu Zhongfei sit down. Chu Yu then greeted Sikong Tianding and Yang Yu. Why aren't you greeting your cousin? Seeing that Chu Yu ignored Sikong Chuyu, Chu Zhongfei frowned and said, Sikong Tianding could not be bothered with children's mischief. However, there should be a hierarchy. In the Sikong clan, regardless of their status in the clan or their seniority, Chuyu had to greet Sikong Chuyu. Glancing at Chu Zhongfei, Chuyu bowed to Sikong Chuyu. Sikong Tianding shook his head helplessly. He felt helpless when it came to this niece of his. It could even be said that he tolerated her. Just as Sikong Tianding was shaking his head, another middle-aged couple arrived at the garden. Father, mother, you're here. Chuyu became happy because the people who came were her parents, Chu Zhongqing and Sikong Tianlin. Greetings to third brother and third sister-in-law. Chu Zhongqing and Sikong Tianlin bowed to Sikong Tianding and Yang Yu. Sikong Chuyu cupped his hands and greeted Chu Zhongqing and Sikong Tianlin. Chuyu is back. I have something to say. That Chu Hung has been asking uncle for help. Chu Zhongqing said with a smile. Uncle, you're exaggerating. After Sikong Chuyu finished speaking, she nodded at Night Sorrow, indicating that Night Sorrow could begin. She knew what Chu Zhongqing was going to say next. Uncle, Auntie, I came here to pay my respects and to request that you let me take care of Chuyu. Night Sorrow stood up and went straight to the point. Night Sorrow wasn't stupid and naturally knew what Chu Zhongqing was going to say next. Is this a marriage proposal? Sikong Tianding said with a smile. He was happy that Night Sorrow understood the situation. Because Night Sorrow didn't say anything, he was going to reject Chu Zhongqing. That would hurt their reputation and harmony. Yes, that's what I meant. Night Sorrow nodded. Which family's wild child is this? Don't you know your manners? Don't you know that marriage has always been decided by the parents since ancient times? After hearing Night Sorrow's words, Sikong Tianlin raised his eyebrows and reprimanded him. Now that Sikong Tianlin was a member of the Chu clan, she naturally wanted to strengthen the ties and strengthen the Chu clan's position in the Sikong clan. She was very clear that whoever married Sikong Chuyu would be highly regarded by the clan's old ancestor. You're Chuyu's elder, so I can tolerate you this once. Before speaking ill of others, you have to be polite and don't speak rudely. I make my own decisions. If I like Chuyu, so what if I propose marriage? After being scolded by Sikong Tianlin as a wild child, Night Sorrow's aura trembled for a moment before stabilizing. How dare you boast so shamelessly in the Sikong clan? Today I'll teach you a lesson on behalf of your parents. Sikong Tianlin's body flashed as he sent a palm strike towards Night Sorrow's chest. Stop. Sikong Tianlin's attack was very sudden, and it was too late for Sikong Tianding to stop him. He stood up and roared. At this moment, Night Sorrow raised his left hand and used the Hand of Desolation to counter Sikong Tianlin's right hand. When Night Sorrow sent out his palm strike, a strange phenomenon of flowing scenes appeared on his palm. After that, the power of Sikong Tianlin's palm strike began to weaken from the first level of the Venerable Realm to the 9th level of the Void Inquiry stage and finally to the 8th level of the Void Inquiry stage. Bang with a muffled sound, Night Sorrow's body swayed and did not move. However, Sikong Tianlin's body was pushed back. Wrinkles appeared on his hand which was damaged by the power of time. When Night Sorrow fought against Bei Tiange always had energy protecting his body. As for Sikong Tianlin, the energy on his hand was scattered by Night Sorrow. Naturally, it was eroded by the characteristics of the power of time in the Hand of Desolation. After pushing Sikong Tianlin back with a palm strike, Night Sorrow glanced at Chu Zhongqing who took out his sword. Then he grabbed the handle of the reincarnation spear behind his shoulder with his right hand. Enough. Tianlin, you're getting more and more overboard. Do you still have me in your eyes? Where do you think this is? Sikong Tianding waved his sleeves, causing Sikong Tianlin's body to stagger again. He really couldn't hold back his anger. Third brother. Sikong Tianlin looked at Sikong Tianding in astonishment. Then he looked at Night Sorrow. You still know how to call me third brother? Chuyu is my daughter. No one can force or interfere with who she likes and who she wants to marry. Back then, Jiyu's family and the family's elders couldn't make me compromise. If you respect me, you shouldn't have touched my bottom line. Sikong Tianding glared at Sikong Tianlin and roared. Sikong Tianlin calmed down. At this moment, he understood that Sikong Tianding had always been modest towards him because of their sibling relationship. Apart from that, Sikong Tianding was an expert and one of the most powerful people in the Sikong family. Chu Zhongqing, why don't you try drawing your weapon? If you dare, I'll kick you out of the Sikong family. After reprimanding Sikong Tianlin, Sikong Tianding turned his head and looked at Chu Zhongqing. Third brother, please calm down. Chu Zhongqing's face was ashen. This was the first time he saw Sikong Tianding so angry. All of you sit there obediently and listen. Sikong Tianding returned to the main seat and roared again. I acted rashly out of self-defense. Please forgive me, Uncle. Junior hasn't finished speaking yet. Uncle, please let me take care of Chuyu. Knight Sorrow withdrew his hand from the reincarnation spear. He tidied his robe and bowed to Sikong Tianding and Yang Yu again. You're calm and composed in the face of danger. Just based on this, I believe you can take good care of Chuyu. Where's the betrothal gift? Don't you need a betrothal gift to propose marriage? Sikong Tianding looked at Knight Sorrow. Chapter 570. A Genius Remembers Love in 1 Second? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Yishang couldn't be blamed for being surprised. Normally, when someone came to propose marriage, the other party would ask about the family background, inquire about the situation and make some requests. This was the normal procedure, but Sikong Tianding directly asked for betrothal gifts. Don't tell me you want to beat around the bush and ask about this and that. If you have the time, why don't you drink tea and chat? I like you. Most importantly, Chuyu likes and acknowledges you. That's enough. Sikong Tianding nodded at Knight Sorrow. Thank you, Uncle. This is the betrothal gift. Knight Sorrow stepped forward and placed 2 life spirit stones and 2 bottles of origin spiritual liquid on the small table in front of Sikong Tianding. Life crystals as a betrothal gift? Not bad. It's settled then. You can decide when you want to get married. Just let me know when the time comes. With a wave of his hand, Sikong Tianding put away the betrothal gift into his storage ring. Third brother. Granduncle did say that he wouldn't force Chuyu, but he also said that the husband Chuyu chose would have to pass his eyes. Even if Tianlin doesn't interfere in this matter, third brother, you still have to ask about his background and background? Sikong Tianlin asked. After calming down, Sikong Tianlin felt that Sikong Tianding wanted to avoid the family and decide on Sikong Chuyu's marriage. Therefore he brought out the family's old ancestor. Origin? He comes from the eastern Xian region. Third brother knows that family background isn't important. Even if he doesn't have it now, he just has to work hard to make a prominent family background. Granduncle won't interfere with Chuyu's matters. If you feel that something is wrong, you can report it to the old ancestor. Third brother won't keep you for lunch. Sikong Tianding rudely chased them away. In the past, when Sikong Tianjing and Sikong Tianhua were messing around, Sikong Tianding didn't want to hurt their brotherly relationship unless Sikong Chuyu forced him to. Everyone in the Sikong family knew this. Now that Sikong Tianlin was interfering, he didn't want to be polite anymore. Sikong Tianlin's expression changed. He cupped his hands at Sikong Tianding and Yang Yu before leaving the Heavenly Cauldron residence. Tianding, is this all right? Yang Yu asked as she watched Sikong Tianlin, Chu Zhongqing, Chu Zhongfei and Chuyu leave. There's nothing bad about it. They're a little reckless and don't know what they can't do. That little girl is also too impudent. She doesn't know that my precious daughter is the young miss of the Sikong clan. I've tolerated them for so many years. There's no end to it. I won't spoil them in the future, Sikong Tianding said angrily. Father, don't be angry. Let's not be angry. Sikong Chuyu came to Sikong Tianding's side and held his hand. How can I not be angry? Knight Sorrow, I don't have any requirements for you. Just one thing, whoever dares to bully my precious daughter, kill them no matter who they are, Sikong Tianding said. Uncle, don't worry. Knight Sorrow will definitely do it. Knight Sorrow bowed. He really admired Sikong Tianding's character. He placed his family above all else. You're lucky to have the daughter that I spent so much effort to raise. You can call me father-in-law. Look, that's mother-in-law. Sikong Tianding raised his chin at Yang Yu. Knight Sorrow pays his respects to father-in-law and mother-in-law. Knight Sorrow bowed again. This meeting gift is really worrying. Father-in-law, I don't have any extra spirit weapons. If it's not a spirit weapon, you probably won't care about it. Spirit stones are too vulgar. Let me think about it first. Sikong Tianding stroked the beard under his chin and said after thinking for a while. How embarrassing. You two chat. I'll go arrange the banquet. Yang Yu smiled and left the garden. Sikong Chuyu also followed. Father-in-law, Knight Sorrow came here this time for another matter. I'm here on behalf of Tianji Tower and Eastern Xian region. Knight Sorrow poured a cup of tea for Sikong Tianding and said, You're here on behalf of Tianji Tower and Eastern Xian region? Can you do it? Sikong Tianding looked at Knight Sorrow with some surprise. Of course. This is my Aunt Faye's token. This is the token of the Heaven's Extremity Envoy of Tianji Tower. I'm mainly here to communicate with father-in-law. Night Sorrow took out Wu Lingfei's token and the Heaven's Extremity Envoy's token and showed it to Xikong Tianding. Kid, you're really something. Your strength is first class and your social status is also first class. Then let's talk. Someone bring a jar of wine. The more Xikong Tianding looked at Night Sorrow, the more he liked him. He shouted to the servant. Night Sorrow has wine here. Night Sorrow took out a jar of azure blood wine and poured a bowl for Xikong Tianding. Xikong Tianding took the bowl and drank it in one gulp. Good wine, it's really satisfying. You come too. Let's drink and talk. But kid, don't expect your father-in-law to betray the family. That's impossible. Night Sorrow smiled and told him about Lin Yuandao and Wu Lingfei's intentions. They hoped that the Xikong family would not get involved in this mess. If they needed any help, Tianji Tower could help them secretly. That's not a problem. We, the Xikong clan, have our own dignity. We won't follow anyone, Xikong Tianding said. Bow 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 bow, then I'm relieved. Night Sorrow felt a lot more at ease now that the two things he needed to do in the Xikong clan had been settled. After that, Night Sorrow and Xikong Tianding began to chat and sip wine. A moment later, Yang Yu and Xikong Chuyu returned to the garden. Night Sorrow, how could you leave Chiyu's sisters in the inn? That's not appropriate. Let's forget about lunch. You can pick them up later and have dinner together, Yang Lei said. Just now, Xikong Chuyu had told her about Yang Lei. All right. Night Sorrow nodded. You have the ability. A man should blossom in all directions. Everything is fine. But if you don't treat Chuyu well, your father-in-law won't forgive you, Xikong Tianding said. After lunch they drank tea and chatted. At this moment, an old man in a gray robe walked into the courtyard. Tianding, why didn't you bring him to my place? The old man asked after entering the courtyard. I just finished my lunch. Night Sorrow, this is our family's ancestor, Xikong Tianding introduced. After Xikong Tianding finished his introduction, Xikong Chuyu and Night Sorrow bowed respectfully. He has already reached the 8th level of the Void Inquiry stage at such a young age. This is very rare. His essence chi is more than 40 zhang * 3. 33 m per zhang, tall. His body has also been cultivated to a high level. That Chu Hing even had designs on Chuyu. Compared to you, he's just trash. Xikong Luyan sized up Night Sorrow and said, Granduncle, has Tianlin gone to see you? Xikong Tianding thought for a while and asked. It's fine for a girl to side with an outsider. But there must be a limit. She seems to have no bottom line. You have to teach her a lesson. The Xikong clan is the world of the Xikong clan. You have to distinguish the priorities. Xikong Luyan said. During the conversation, Xikong Tianding told him about the news brought by Night Sorrow. He also told him about the forces that the Eastern Shen region and Tianji Tower had gathered in the Realm Sea. He also told him about the attitudes of the Eastern Shen region and Tianji Tower. A just cause enjoys abundant support while an unjust cause finds little support. The Jiyu clan is becoming more and more unreliable. The Xikong clan won't participate in this matter. Since the Tianji Tower, the Eastern Shen region and Lord Golden Phoenix have given us face, we have to accept it. Xikong Luyan said. In other words, he accepted the suggestion of the Eastern Shen region and Tianji Tower. Then I can go back and report on my mission. Night Sorrow said. Chapter 571. Geniuses remember love in 1 second? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Senior, do you mean that my Auntie Fei knows about the Xikong family's decision? I'm just here to go through the motions? Night Sorrow looked at Xikong Luyun in surprise. You brought the message. As long as the Xikong family isn't stupid, we will definitely choose to stay out of it. Therefore, Lord Golden Phoenix already knows the actual result. You can stay here for a few more days. Xikong Luyun said as he sized up Night Sorrow. He was very curious about how Night Sorrow had cultivated his body to the point that it was more than 40 feet tall. I see. It's just a formality. Night Sorrow shook his head. He understood that Wu Lingfei and Lin Yuandao had sent him out to play. Not everyone can go through this formality. If it were anyone else, the Xikong family would also have to be on guard. Since you are here, you don't have to think about anything else. You don't have to think about how high or low your attitude is. Just do what you need to do. This is pretty good, Xikong Luyan said with a smile. Night Sorrow nodded. He understood the benefits of coming here. It was true that he was more suitable than anyone else. After staying for a while, Xikong Luyun reminded Night Sorrow to stay for a few more days before leaving. At the same time he asked Sikong Chuyu to bring Night Sorrow to his place when he was free. Lunch was eaten by Sikong Tianding and his wife, Night Sorrow and Sikong Chuyu. Fortunately everyone got along well. A good alcohol tolerance was very useful at this time. Night Sorrow accompanied Sikong Tianding until he was dizzy, but he was still fine. You have a good alcohol tolerance. Your father-in-law can't take it anymore. I'm going to sleep for a while. Kong Yuan. Sikong Tianding waved his hand and a man in white appeared at the side of the garden. Follow the son-in-law closely when he is at the Sikong residence. If anyone dares to cause trouble for him, just take them down. If you can't handle it yourself, bring the feather guards with you. Sikong Tianding said something to the white-robed man who was Kong Yuan. Then he went back to his room to rest. Night Sorrow, our family only has one daughter, Chuyu, so this will be your home from now on. Make yourself at home, Yang Yu said as she stood up. After Sikong Tianding and Yang Yu left, Night Sorrow and Sikong Chuyu smiled at each other. How does it feel to have a successful marriage proposal? Sikong Chuyu asked the servants to serve tea. He then looked at Night Sorrow and asked with a smile. Steady? I can finally be with you openly, Night Sorrow said. In the past, many people wanted to interfere with my marriage. They all wanted to use my marriage as an opportunity to cozy up to the Sikong family. Now that the ancestor and my parents have acknowledged you, there won't be any blind people who want to cause trouble. Love Gong little sake, Sikong Chuyu said with a smile. I understand. That's why I said steady, Night Sorrow said with a smile. Then let's go out for a walk. I'll have to trouble Uncle Kong Yuan during this time. Sikong Chuyu nodded at Kong Yuan. Kong Yuan was Sikong Tianding's personal guard. He was also a commander of the feather guard under Sikong Tianding's command. He was relatively familiar with Sikong Chuyu. Chuyu, don't be so polite with Uncle Kong Yuan. Alright, I'll go arrange the beast carriage. Kong Yuan smiled and left to make the arrangements. Night Sorrow and Sikong Chuyu then left the Sikong family's residence in the beast carriage. They first went to the inn to pick up Yang Lei before touring Bailing City. Bailing City was a city ruled by the Sikong family. Although it couldn't compare to Qingtian City, it was still very prosperous. It was between a monarch city and a first-grade city. Kong Yuan followed Night Sorrow and the others from afar. This way he wouldn't disturb Night Sorrow and the others and wouldn't cause any problems. Sikong Chuyu bought clothes for his parents and some of Bailing City's specialty wine for Night Sorrow. Baidu search AI go female sign xiao say www.ichuxs.com. After touring Bailing City for half a day, the three of them finally returned to the Sikong family's residence. Sikong Tianding and Yang Yu also treated Yang Lei very well. This was how gracious and magnanimous they were. Night Sorrow, it's fine for you to propose marriage on your own behalf. Your mother-in-law, the patriarch, and I also agree. However, this engagement ceremony can't go on. After all, something is missing. If you have time, bring an elder over. That way it'll be easier to talk things over, Sikong Tianding said during dinner. Night Sorrow understands. Night Sorrow nodded. He knew that Sikong Tianding's request was very reasonable. After all, big families needed to look good. Yes, you guys are going out to play today. Father-in-law was thinking about this matter. It's a little inappropriate for you to hold this engagement ceremony by yourself. However, don't worry. We've already informed the family about you and Chuyu. Everyone in the family knows about your existence, Sikong Tianding said. Night Sorrow and the others stayed in the Sikong family for a few days. Night Sorrow and Sikong Chuyu also paid a visit to Sikong Chuyu's close relatives. Of course, this included Sikong Tianlin and Chu Zhongqing. No one knew what Sikong Tianlin and Chu Zhongqing were thinking. However, they still received Night Sorrow and Sikong Chuyu politely on the surface. Chu Zhongqing didn't say a word from beginning to end. Night Sorrow and Sikong Chuyu didn't care about this. This was just a courtesy visit. They didn't care about Sikong Tianlin and Chu Zhongqing's attitude. The one who was most enthusiastic about Night Sorrow was Sikong Tianyu. She wasn't married and only had relatives in the Sikong family. Night Sorrow also invited Sikong Tianyu to be a guest in the eastern Xian region. After staying for a few days, Night Sorrow had to leave. He was worried about the confrontation between the eastern Xian region and the Qingtian region. Although he couldn't do anything, Night Sorrow hoped that he could be there. That could be considered as doing his duty as a citizen of the eastern Xian region. Sikong Tianding expressed his support for Night Sorrow's decision to leave. He could understand Night Sorrow's state of mind. However, Sikong Tianding and Yang Yu were very reluctant to part with Sikong Chuyu. This was because Sikong Chuyu had expressed that he would go with Night Sorrow to Taiyue region. Sikong Tianding personally sent Night Sorrow and the other two to Bailing City's teleportation array. Remember to come back when you have time. Sikong Tianding said to Night Sorrow and the other two who had entered the teleportation array. Night Sorrow and the other two bowed to Sikong Tianding and started the teleportation array. After arriving at Qingtian City, the three glanced at the guards and quickly left the teleportation array. Then they put on their masks and rode Yang Lei's mount to the underground hall of the Celestial Peak Pavilion. Then they started the teleportation array. Not long after Night Sorrow and the others left the teleportation array, a guard shouted, "That's the wanted criminal of our Qingtian region, Night Sorrow. Hurry up and chase after him. I will report to the city lord's mansion." The Qingtian region had already confirmed that the loss of the Shintian Tower, which was also the Spacetime Pagoda, was related to Night Sorrow. This was because Night Sorrow was the most suspicious person during that period of time. It could be said that Sky-bearing City had investigated all the people who had attempted the pagoda during that period of time. They had captured and interrogated them, but there was no problem. In addition, Wu Lingfei had also used the pagoda once, so this matter had been confirmed. Night Sorrow naturally became a wanted criminal of Sky-bearing City. He is %1 pirated version Yishang's portrait had already been passed down in the Qingtian region. However, it didn't exist in Bailing City because it was a region ruled by the Sikong clan. If the Sikong clan wanted to, they could do so. If they didn't want to, they wouldn't. Chapter 572. Genius Remembers Love in 1 Second/Small? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. After leaving the valley where West Sea City's teleportation array was, Night Sorrow looked at the two girls. "Why don't you go to West Sea City's Qingji Tower branch and wait for me there? We'll go and take a look together. You don't need to worry about our safety. The battle shouldn't have started yet, otherwise there would have been rumors," Yang Lei said. She knew that Night Sorrow had arranged this because he was worried about her and Sikong Chuyu's safety. "Yes, you don't need to worry. We'll discover any danger ahead of time." Sikong Chuyu also wanted to go and take a look. After thinking about it, Night Sorrow felt that the two girls' words were reasonable, so he nodded in agreement. The three of them rode their mounts to the edge of the realm sea and approached the battlefield. Seeing that there were no changes, Night Sorrow brought the two girls to the camp by the sea. After greeting some acquaintances, Night Sorrow brought the two girls to the mountain where Wu Lingfei and Lin Yuandao were cultivating. "We're back. Things should have gone smoothly, right?" Wu Lingfei and Lin Yuandao opened their eyes. "Very smoothly. Is there any situation on Aunt Fei's side?" Night Sorrow looked at the camp in the realm sea and asked. "Same as always. They're still in a stalemate. They're still trying to gather more people and increase their strength, but so what? Without confidence in winning, they won't dare to attack," Wu Lingfei said. "What did the Sikong family say?" Lin Yuandao asked. "The Sikong family won't get involved in this mess, so they don't plan on getting involved with the Jiyu family." Night Sorrow told them about Sikong Luyun and Sikong Tianding's decision. "That's good." Lin Yuandao nodded. The Sikong family was a top family in the Qingtian region and had many venerables. If they participated in the battle, it would have a big impact on the war. "How are your personal matters?" Wu Lingfei looked at Night Sorrow and Sikong Chuyu and asked. "It went smoothly. Chuyu's father has already agreed to our matter, and Venerable Lu Yun doesn't object either. It's just that the engagement ceremony can't be carried out. After all, I don't have any elders present." Night Sorrow nodded. He was quite happy about this matter. "When there's time, I'll go to the Sikong clan to help you settle the matter. If there's nothing else, you can go back to Dongshan City and rest. Cultivate as you should. There won't be any changes in this battle for a while, unless there's a special reason," said Wu Lingfei. "You can go back first. Would the Qingtian region dare to attack directly? Without absolute certainty, they wouldn't dare to do it. But we might soon have the certainty," Lin Yuandao said. Night Sorrow thought about it and understood. If Guishao and Lutrin Swan entered the Saint Realm, then the situation would change. After leaving some wine for Wu Lingfei and Lin Yuandao, Night Sorrow left the Realm Sea battlefield with the two women. They arrived at the strategic teleportation array and teleported back to Dongshan City. When they returned to Qingxin Cottage, they saw Gong Shen cultivating the Wind and Thundersword technique. "Where's Sixth Senior Sister?" asked Night Sorrow. "Ah, she's stabilizing her cultivation. She broke through the day before yesterday. She's waiting for you to come back to celebrate." Gong Xian said after putting away his sword. This is a joyous occasion. We should celebrate. Once sixth senior sister stabilizes her cultivation, we'll hold a sumptuous banquet. Night Sorrow waved his arm. Aoi had always doted on and taken care of Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow was very grateful for this. Did your trip to the Sikong clan go smoothly? 13. Did your marriage proposal succeed? Gong Xian asked, his eyes full of anticipation. Yes. The Sikong clan agreed to my marriage proposal. Besides, I'm planning to return to the sect to propose marriage to Master. I can't let ninth senior sister continue to wait. Night Sorrow said. All right. This is our family's matter. It's just a formality. However, we still need to give her a betrothal gift. Gong Xian said with a smile. He was very happy to see his junior sister and junior brother living well. 2 days later, Aoi came out of seclusion. Night Sorrow asked Aunt Feng to arrange a sumptuous banquet for Aoi to celebrate. It's really not easy. I finally entered the 5th rank. Aoi said with some emotions. Congratulations, 6th senior sister. Night Sorrow raised his wine cup to Aoi. It's all because of the abundant resources you gave me. Otherwise, 6th senior sister wouldn't have had the chance. Aoi said to Night Sorrow. She was quite emotional. In the past, she really didn't think that she could enter the Void Inquiry stage. A few years ago, there were no venerables in the Medicine Valley. The Void Inquiry stage was the highest level. In the entire Medicine Valley, there were no Void Inquiry stage disciples among the younger generation. But now, the Taishan Peak was developing rapidly. More than half of the second-generation disciples of the Taishan Peak had entered the Void Inquiry stage. As for the other peaks, there were very few of them. There were only 3 or 4 of them. In total, they were only half of the Taishan Peak. What was the reason for this? It was because the resources that Night Sorrow provided were domineering. As long as everyone needed it, Night Sorrow would provide them with resources. 13th Junior Brother, the situation of our Taishan Peak has made the other Peak Lords very jealous. They have asked me many times about the reason. It made me feel very helpless. Gong Xian said with a smile. What's there to be jealous of? It's all because of Senior Brother and Senior Sister. Night Sorrow said with a smile. Your words aren't very convincing. This is what I said. The Sacred Cauldron scripture belongs to the Medicine Valley. My junior brother should hand it over to the Medicine Valley after obtaining it. However, my junior brother is willing to give the resources he obtained outside to Senior Brother and Senior Sister. What can we do about it? Gong Xian said with a smile. 13th Junior Brother, you don't know this. Those elders and peak lords came to find Master and said that they wanted you to help the disciples of the other peaks. Since Master didn't reply, they just stayed in the Taishan Peak and refused to leave. Aoi said with a smile. I'm also confused. When I have time, I will concoct more pills. However, I don't have a lot of materials. Night Sorrow said. You don't have to worry about that. After I kept some resources, I handed some level 4 pills to the sect. Aoi said. Eldest senior brother and 6th senior sister, you guys can do as you see fit. By the way, I still have some void pills and clear void pills. Night Sorrow took out a few bottles of pills and handed them to Aoi. Genuine F***CK. First F***CK. 13th Junior Brother, you have taken out too many resources. You have to keep them. Even if you can't use them, you can exchange them for resources you need. Aoi waved her hand. Gong Xian also shook his head. It's okay. I have enough resources. Night Sorrow smiled and placed the pills in front of Aoi. Maybe it's because I'm narrow-minded. When I see people I don't know or even know using 13th Junior Brother's resources, I feel uncomfortable. Aoi took a deep breath and said, It's okay. Medicine Valley is our sect. The sect is strong and we have a sense of honor. As for other things, it doesn't matter. Night Sorrow said with a smile. 13th Junior Brother, when do you plan to go back and propose marriage to Master? Also, don't you plan to climb Danding Cliff? Gong Xian looked at Night Sorrow and asked. Then let's go back and settle these 2 things. Night Sorrow said after thinking for a while. Chapter 573. Genius 1 second. Remember love divided by go divided by little? We provide you with interesting novels to read. After cultivating for a whole night, Night Sorrow and the others woke up early. They tidied up and greeted Ning Qing Feng and the members of the God-slaying squad. Then they rode on their mounts and went to the teleportation formation, directly teleporting to Danding City. Love, Gong Little say, Wangqiu, eldest senior brother, Master is in seclusion. How am I going to propose marriage? Looking at the golden flame palace which was emitting a gentle light, Knight Sorrow felt a little troubled. It's all right. Master is now working hard on his cultivation. He's not in seclusion to break through. There's no need to be disturbed. Gong Xian went into the Golden Flame Palace to look for Yu Yangyu. The Golden Flame Palace had already opened the trial for its disciples. However, the trial was only for those below the 5th grade. The trial for those above the 5th grade would not be effective. Yu Yangyu was cultivating on the top floor of the Golden Flame Palace. After a while, Yu Yangyu and Gong Xian walked out of the Golden Flame Palace wearing a long robe with Dao patterns on it. When they saw Yu Yangyu, they all bowed to greet him. Aoi, you have also entered the Void Inquiry stage. This is something worth celebrating. I have always been worried about you. Your temperament is too soft and you don't have enough motivation to cultivate. Now that you have entered the 5th grade, I am relieved. Yu Yangyu looked at Aoi with a face full of smiles. It's my fault for making Master worry. Aoi bowed to Yu Yangyu. Her eyes were filled with guilt. She knew that Yu Yangyu had worried a lot about her. Be original. Don't think too much. Master is very happy. 13. My last disciple has now become the strongest disciple of the 2nd generation in the Medicine Valley. Very good. It's only a matter of time before you enter the Venerable Realm. You should spend more time with me this time. Yu Yangyu's eyes were filled with admiration while looking at Knight Sorrow. The group then flew towards Danding Peak. Old 9, you should quit being the city lord of Danding City. To others, being a city lord might be beneficial, but to you it's a burden, Yu Yangyu said to Yang Lei as they flew. Disciple has long wanted to quit, but I didn't dare to say it out loud. I was afraid that Master would be disappointed. Yang Lei said with some embarrassment. That's nothing. I care about the prosperity of the Medicine Valley, but I also care about whether you guys are doing well or not. I can't reject Shirsan as the Deputy Valley Master. If I can, I will help to reject him, Yu Yangyu said with a smile. It's fine, I don't have anything important to do, Knight Sorrow said. Gong Xian, there's nothing you can do about this. Some things have to be shouldered. Lu Yangyu looked at Gong Xian and said. Let's go. Lu Yangyu looked at Gong Xian and said. Disciple understands. Don't worry, Master. I won't let you down. Gong Xian nodded. He knew his responsibility. Yu Yangyu didn't bring everyone to Danding Hall. Instead, they went straight to Taishan Hall on Taishan Peak. When they arrived at Taishan Hall, after everyone greeted Yu Yangyu, Knight Sorrow walked to the center of the hall. Then he walked to Yu Yangyu, who was sitting in the main seat, and bowed. Shirsan, if there's anything you need, just tell me. Yu Yangyu was stunned. In his memory, Knight Sorrow never bowed to anyone. Ai Go Xiao Say W. Chu, disciple asks Master to betroth 9th senior sister to me. Knight Sorrow continued to bow. That's it? Master agrees. You bowed so formally that I was shocked. I thought you were in trouble. Yu Yangyu stood up and helped Knight Sorrow up with a smile. This is the betrothal gift. Knight Sorrow took out the same betrothal gift that he had given when he went to the Sikong family to propose marriage. So formal. But that's good. I don't have any treasures. When the time comes, I still need to study your 9th senior sister's dowry. Also, when do you plan to hold the wedding? Let me know. Yu Yangyu nodded and accepted Knight Sorrow's betrothal gift. At this time, everyone in the hall congratulated Knight Sorrow and Yang Lei. They also congratulated Yu Yangyu because this was also a happy occasion for Yu Yangyu. After chatting for a while, the group went to the small building in the bamboo forest to drink tea. However, they did not stay quiet. People kept coming to visit Yu Yangyu. They were the elders and the peak lords of the various peaks. Yi Xiling also brought Tang Chanshan and Lin Jingyi to the small building in the bamboo forest. Valley Lord, our Medicine Valley has 12 peaks. But look at the situation of the Taishan Peak now. Gong Xian is at the 5th grade of the Void Inquiry stage, Wu Qi is at the 2nd grade of the Void Inquiry stage, Yang Lei is at the 5th grade of the Void Inquiry stage. Huan and the others are all at the Void Inquiry stage. Also, this Deputy Valley Lord who is not doing any work is already at the 8th grade of the Void Inquiry stage. This Taishan Peak alone is enough to defeat the other 11 peaks. Ziling, be quiet. There are some things that we can talk about slowly. Yin Beiji, who had been here for a while, said. When the peak lords of the various peaks learned that Yu Yangyu had returned, all of them came to visit him. You all also know that I have been in seclusion all this while. I have never cared about the matters of the sect, nor have I done any favoritism. Do you all admit this? Yu Yangyu looked at everyone and said. After hearing Yu Yangyu's words, the others could only nod their heads because it was the truth. No one could deny it. The Taishan Peak is strong. This is because of the good leadership of Gong Xian, Wu Qi and the others. It is also because the disciples of the Taishan Peak have done well. This is also a fact, isn't it? Yu Yangyu once again threw out a sentence. Senior Marshal Brother, this won't do. If this continues, the Medicine Valley will be biased. The new disciples will only know about the Taishan Peak and not the other peaks. If this continues, things will get out of hand. Duan Lei said. I have taken in 13 good disciples. They are my pride. Now it seems that they are also my burden. Yu Yangyu smiled bitterly. We are not here to make things difficult for the Valley Master. We just want to change the situation. Otherwise, the other 11 peaks will not be able to survive. This is also not good for the Medicine Valley. Yen Beiji sighed and said, Uncle Masters, we have been working hard to cultivate and win glory for the Medicine Valley. My 13th junior martial brother has even helped the Medicine Valley build a reputation. This is not a sin, right? Yang Lei thought for a moment and said. She did not want to see Yu Yangyu in a difficult position. No, absolutely not. You're all good. 13th junior martial brother is the pride of the Medicine Valley. Everyone in the Medicine Valley knows this, and it will be recorded in the history books. Today we are here to ask and see how to change the situation. Yi Xiling said. Now that Yang Lei's cultivation was the same as hers, and Yang Lei was also an elder, she could not speak with seniority. I also have a headache. Yu Yangyu knocked on the armrest of the chair. He did not know how to deal with it. He knew that the Medicine Valley was indeed like this at the moment. If this continued, it would become the Medicine Valley of the Taishan Peak. Deputy Valley Master Yi, don't you have any good ideas? Yi Xiling looked at Night Sorrow. After being called out by Yi Xiling, Night Sorrow was stunned for a moment and then said, Uncle Master Yi, please don't make fun of Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow has never cared about the matters of the Medicine Valley. He is young and ignorant, so he does not have any ideas, and he does not dare to have any ideas. Actually, we all know that the biggest reason for the change of the Taishan Peak is you. It's just that we can't ask for anything from you because the Medicine Valley owes you too much. Yi Xiling said. Uncle Master Yi, you are exaggerating. Night Sorrow cupped his hands and said. Chapter 574. Genius remembers love in 1 second/small? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. At this moment, Lin Jingyi's heart was filled with emotions. She felt that she had worked very hard and had also cultivated to the peak of the spirit-severing stage. This speed was definitely outstanding in the Medicine Valley in the past. But what about now? Compared to the disciples of Taishan Peak, her achievements were nothing. In addition, Lin Jingyi also heard some words that struck her hard. Night Sorrow was at the 8th grade of the Void Inquiry stage. She knew very well what kind of concept that was. In other words, other than the two venerated beings in the Medicine Valley, Night Sorrow was already standing at the highest level. Vice Valley Master Yi, please forgive me. Please forgive Lin Jingyi's ignorance back then. Lin Jingyi bowed towards Night Sorrow. Senior Sister Lin, you're overthinking it. It's not a big deal. Night Sorrow waved his hand and used his energy to help Lin Jingyi up. Love, go little sake, unity of heaven and man? Yen Beifong looked at Night Sorrow in surprise. Most v. New chapter section, Vabov 7. The other peak masters were also stunned. All of their eyes were fixed on Night Sorrow. Their cultivation levels were not up to par, but their vision was still there. Night Sorrow's body did not move, nor did he release any energy. However, energy had appeared around Lin Jingyi. This was a fact. My 13th junior brother has already reached the unity of heaven and man realm. The only thing lacking is his cultivation base, Yang Lei said proudly. At this moment, the others didn't say anything. This was a very serious blow because it meant that Night Sorrow didn't have any bottlenecks when he entered the Exalt realm. It could be said that his path was smooth. Valley Master, I don't want to talk to them anymore. Let's talk about whether there are any good ideas to change the situation in the Medicine Valley. Yi Xiling said with a sigh. In the end, it's still a problem of resources. To be honest, the cultivation resources of my 13 disciples are all provided by 13. However, he alone can't provide for an entire sect. Besides, we don't have the face to do that. Yu Yangyu said. He had also reached the most important point. Yu Yangyu's words made everyone fall into deep thought because resources were the core of the problem. Master, I think we can start a pill business. This way we can exchange pills for ingredients. The profit margin is huge. Then, the ingredients will be turned into pills. Sikong Chiyu said. First of all, the business needs to be done. But what about the capital and channels? Yen Bebe rubbed his head and said, "Okay. What I can offer is a bottle of void pills and 3 bottles of clear void pills for each peak. As for how you arrange it, whether you use it for business or directly give it to your disciples, I don't care. Please don't make things difficult for my master and Taishan Peak in the future. I will give the pills to my master tomorrow." Night Sorrow will take his leave. Night Sorrow didn't want to be entangled. He directly cupped his hands to the people present and left Qingxing Courtyard with Yang Lei and Sikong Chuyu. After Night Sorrow left, Aoi looked at the group of people and sighed. Peak Masters are all seniors. Today's matter was too difficult for them. Aoi's words made everyone's faces turn red because that was the truth. "Valley Master, I'm sorry. This was not our original intention. We came to ask how we can change the situation in the Medicine Valley, but now we have nowhere to put our old faces." Love Gone Little Say Network, Chiyuan Tai, who had been silent all this time, spoke up. "That's it. I won't stop Night Sorrow from providing the resources, but now you have to develop yourselves. Wuxia Taishan Peak will participate in the Medicine Valley's disciple recruitment ceremony once every 3 years, Yu Yangyu said. This was also to give the other peaks a chance. Then the others left Qingxing Courtyard. "What we did today was too disgusting. What is this called?" Xueqi, the peak master of Bailu Peak, said. "If this continues, it will make people feel disgusted. Maybe Night Sorrow will be angry and not come back for a few years. In the future he won't care about the Medicine Valley's business anymore." Jean Can, the peak master of Tianyue Peak, who was the best at scheming, said. "Yes, we are a bit too much. This won't do. Let's forget about today. Tomorrow we will gather early and go to Night Sorrow's place to solve this matter. Our intention was right, but we can't make people feel disgusted." Yi Xiling also nodded. Back at Bamboo Forest Peak, Night Sorrow began to organize the pills and ingredients. He had promised to do it, so he had to do it. Fortunately, Night Sorrow had entered the special space several times and accumulated a lot of ingredients. Otherwise he wouldn't be able to handle taking out pills like this. Yishang tidied up the materials and then refined them all into pills. After counting, Night Sorrow realized that he only had a few bottles of pills left after giving the 11 peaks all the pills and resources. Sigh. There are a lot of level 4 pills, but there aren't many level 5 pills. Fortunately we still have enough. In the future we still have to get more ingredients. Senior brother and senior sister have enough pills, but I still have to take care of the god-slaying team, Night Sorrow said. 13. I am a little angry. What are they doing? Are they trying to squeeze you dry? Yang Lei said angrily. Ninth senior sister, you are overthinking. They are doing this for the sake of Medicine Valley. Their intention is not wrong. Also, I am providing the resources for no other reason than to not put Master in a difficult position. Anyway, the 3 of us don't lack any resources. I also left enough for senior brother and senior sister, so I won't be calculative about this, Night Sorrow said, explaining the reason why he was willing to take on this matter. Okay, I understand. Yang Lei nodded. After putting away the alchemy furnace, the 3 of them went into the bamboo house to rest. Returning to Bamboo Forest Peak was the most relaxing time for them. Early in the morning, when Night Sorrow was practicing his spear techniques, the various peak masters of Medicine Valley clustered around Yu Yangyu. You guys are really early. Don't worry, my junior brother will definitely do what he promised. Looking at the group of people, Yang Lei was angry. Elder Yang, you misunderstood. We are not here to ask for the pills. Yesterday's matter was our fault. Not only did we not help Night Sorrow, we even squeezed Night Sorrow dry. This is not right. Today we are here to apologize. Yen Bebe and the others bowed to Night Sorrow. Martial Uncle Yen, you are too serious. What I can do is limited. However, I will do what I can. Last night, I boiled for a while and refined all the materials into pills. I did not break my promise to you martial uncles. Night Sorrow took out his storage belt and placed it on the table in front of him. 13. There may be a misunderstanding. The peak masters just want to change the situation. They are not trying to make things difficult for Master, nor are they trying to ask for resources, Yu Yangyu said. Then Disciple will also contribute these pills to the sect. As for the sect's arrangement, Disciple will not care. Night Sorrow said. What do you guys think? Yu Yangyu looked at the peak masters and asked. We can't take advantage of this. How about this? 13. We should call you Deputy Valley Master. Deputy Valley Master has a lot of connections outside. Let's see if you can promote the pill business of our Medicine Valley. This way it will be easier for our Medicine Valley to develop. Our peaks have also discussed and agreed to do this resource business together. Yi Xiling said. Okay, I will go back and talk to my friends. This should not be a problem. It is a win-win situation. Knight Sorrow nodded. He was satisfied with the attitude of the Peak Masters today. Chapter 575. A Genius Remembers Love in 1 Second? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Then, everyone began to discuss the expansion of Medicine Valley's resources. In the end, it was decided that Yi Xiling would follow Knight Sorrow with the representatives of the disciples from each peak to open up the resource route in the Medicine Valley. She was a woman, so she had more advantages in communicating with others. After the discussion was over, those who were supposed to leave left. No one wanted to accept Knight Sorrow's pills, but Knight Sorrow insisted on giving them. They only accepted half of the money to expand their resources. This way Knight Sorrow still had enough pills. Originally, everyone didn't want Knight Sorrow's medicinal resources, but the average medicinal pills weren't that valuable. Only the Tier 5 medicinal pills were valuable, so it was worth the trade. After the marriage proposal was settled, Knight Sorrow planned to leave. The main reason was that the expansion of the Medicine Valley's resources was urgent. Yi Xiling brought Lin Jingyi along. She left the matter of crepe myrtle to her eldest disciple, Tang Chanxian. Yi Xiling brought Lin Jingyi along to broaden her horizons. After all, Lin Jingyi was crepe myrtle's most outstanding disciple. Traveling with Knight Sorrow, Lin Jingyi felt a little awkward. After all, she had hurt Knight Sorrow before. To put it bluntly, she didn't like Knight Sorrow. But Lin Jingyi knew in her heart that it wasn't like that at all. She hadn't rejected him back then but had considered it. There was also a woman's modesty in it. In addition, the conflict had arisen because Yi Shang had never taken a liking to her. Baidu search AI go female sign Xiao say www.ichuxs. Taking the teleportation array, the group arrived at Dongshan City. Knight Sorrow brought the group to Qingxin Cottage. After finishing the welcoming banquet, Knight Sorrow brought everyone for a stroll around the mansion. They were also going to meet up with the God-slaying squad. Because in the previous Tianji Tower team, there were disciples of Holy Light Religion, Thunder Rumbling School and Southern Dipper School. Medicine Valley could cooperate with the three parties. After Knight Sorrow's arrival, the members of the God-slaying team, who were in the midst of cultivation, quickly gathered up and greeted Knight Sorrow. Everyone be at ease. I'm just here to take a look. Liyue, do you guys have enough resources? Knight Sorrow said after waving his hand. Captain, don't worry. We have enough resources. Nan Liyue nodded. You guys come with me. I have something I need your help with, Knight Sorrow called out to the original members of Tianji Tower. Then, Knight Sorrow made tea and told them about his request for help. Captain, you're in the wrong here. What kind of help is this? I'll go back and tell the sect to arrange a shop for you in the best location in Holy Light City, Ho Jian said. Captain, since you've asked, then there's definitely no problem. I'll go back and talk to the law enforcement elder later to make arrangements for you guys in Thunder City, Lei Bao said. Nan Liyue also expressed that there was no problem. I'll make a trip to the Star Cloud sect. As for the Scarlet Cloud sect and the Free and Unfettered sect, forget it. I'm not familiar with them, so I won't stick my hot face to their cold asses, Knight Sorrow said. Then Ho Jian and the others brought the representatives of the disciples of the Medicine Valley back to their respective sections. Marshal Uncle Yi, let's go to the Star Cloud sect and see if they'll give us face, Knight Sorrow said. Then Knight Sorrow brought Yi Xiling and Lin Jingyi to the Star Cloud sect through teleportation. After Knight Sorrow reported his name, the sect master of the Star Cloud sect, Zhao Xingguan, personally received him. After Knight Sorrow told him his idea, Zhao Xingguan agreed very much. He even said that he would find the best shop for the Medicine Valley in Star Cloud City. The Star Cloud sect had suffered heavy losses in the last dark creature disaster. If they wanted to recover, elixir resources were indispensable. The Medicine Valley was best at alchemy. After talking for a while, Knight Sorrow brought Yi Xiling and Lin Jingyi back to the Qingxin courtyard in Dongshan City. Marshal Uncle Yi, the situation is going well. Also, it's not difficult to get the elixir business in the Qingtian region's Bailing City. I went to the Sikong family to propose marriage some time ago, so we're relatives there, Knight Sorrow said as he walked in front. Then when will we go there? Yi Xiling was very excited because the trip to the Star Cloud sect with Knight Sorrow went very smoothly. She was looking forward to what was to come next. Knight Sorrow doesn't need to take this. This is my family's identity token. Marshal Uncle Yi can take this token to the Sikong family to find my father. This is a mutually beneficial cooperation. My father won't object. Sikong Chuyu, who came out to greet them, took out an identity token and handed it to Yi Xiling. Plus with head/hair X. Great, this is really great. Yi Xiling was very excited. If this went on, the Medicine Valley's resource business could be done. In that case, the Medicine Valley wouldn't lack elixir resources in the future, and it would be much easier to develop. Night Sorrow, when you have time, you can talk to City Lord Tai Shu. It's not a problem for the Medicine Valley's elixir business to expand to the North Sea region, Sikong Chuyu reminded Night Sorrow. It's not suitable for the time being because the Medicine Valley doesn't have such a large foundation of resources. It has to be operated for a while first. Night Sorrow shook his head. Who's City Lord Tai Shu? Lin Jingyi asked curiously. The City Lord of Beihai City in the North Sea region. She's the #1 figure in the North Sea region. If she asks, it won't be a problem for the Medicine Valley's elixirs to enter the North Sea region. A furnace of elixirs in exchange for 3 times the amount of information. This business is too profitable, Sikong Chuyu said. 30. Deputy Valley Lord, you know the City Lord of Beihai City? Yi Xiling asked excitedly. Yes, I call her Martial Uncle. Night Sorrow nodded. You've already made a name for yourself in just a few years. Yi Xiling said with a sigh. However, Martial Uncle, you're going to have to work hard. After the Medicine Valley's business opens, the supply of elixirs must not be out of stock. The quality must also be acceptable. Don't let it affect our reputation, Night Sorrow said with a smile. Don't worry about that. Even if the disciples of the Medicine Valley don't eat elixirs for a few months, Martial Uncle will still expand this business, Yi Xiling said with great confidence. I forgot one thing. I forgot to go to Pill Ding Cliff when I went back this time. Night Sorrow rubbed his head and said. Originally, Night Sorrow planned to go to Pill Ding Cliff. However, he forgot about it because he was too anxious to find a way out for the 11 peaks of the Medicine Valley. You have to pay attention to this matter. You must go there before you reach the peak of the Void Inquiry stage. This is your chance and also the Medicine Valley's only chance right now, Yi Xiling said. She knew that Hua Yunpeng and the Great Elder attached great importance to this matter. I understand. Martial Uncle Yi, please go and have a rest. I reckon that the Sacred Light Sect, the Thunder Rumbling Sect and the Southern Dipper Sect will have to wait for news. They haven't returned for a long time. Once they return, they will need at least 2 to 3 days to communicate with their seniors. Night Sorrow said to Yi Xiling. After nodding at Night Sorrow, Yi Xiling brought Lin Jingyi to the guest room. Master, Deputy Valley Lord Yi has already reached such a high level that he can get to know the City Lord of the Royal City? Lin Jingyi still had not recovered from the shock. Yes. He has been fighting outside for the past few years and has already made a name for himself. It's been hard on him. In fact, he's still a child. Yi Xiling sighed with emotion. Chapter 576. Geniuses remember love in 1 second? We provide you with interesting novels to read. Yes. Vice Valley Master Yi is currently at the Venerable Realm. Yi Xiling nodded. Isn't it said that cultivation levels are the hardest to cultivate? Many Void Inquiry stage cultivators have been stuck at the peak of the Void Inquiry stage for countless years because their cultivation base was not high enough. Why can't they touch the threshold of the Venerable Realm? Why did his cultivation base reach the Venerable Realm before his cultivation base? Lin Jingyi's face was filled with bewilderment because this had overturned her view of cultivation. That's the common sense. However, some people, or rather, some geniuses and extraordinary talents, cannot be judged as ordinary people. Vice Valley Master Night Sorrow is such a person. It won't be long before he becomes a Venerable Realm cultivator. Moreover, he will be a Venerable Realm cultivator with a title in the future. Yi Xiling said. Venerable Realm cultivator with a title? What does that mean? Lin Jingyi asked in confusion. Venerable Realm cultivators are rare, but there are still some who can reach it. There aren't many Venerable Realm cultivators in our Eastern Xian region, but there are still many in the other regions. Venerable Realm cultivators with extremely strong combat power will be given a title. In the ancient times, there was a Heaven Sealing Palace in the vast Heaven Imperial City of our 9 regions world. Cultivators with strength will be given a title if they are recognized by the Heaven Sealing Palace. Although the Heaven Sealing Palace and vast Heaven Imperial City have disappeared together, this tradition still exists. It's just that they need to be recognized by cultivators. This is something that Vice Valley Master Yi can achieve because he has always had the combat power to fight above his level and realm. Yi Xiling explained some unknown stories to Lin Jingyi. Master, I also want to work hard. However, I can't understand his path. Lin Jingyi said in a low voice. How many people can understand his path? I can't do it either. Today we saw the team under his command. There are nearly 40 people in the team and only 2 of them are not at the void inquiry stage. With such strength, they can easily defeat any sect in the Eastern Shen region without the interference of venerable realm cultivators. Judging from the qi on their bodies, they are all people who have walked out from slaughter. So, back then I already knew that he wasn't an ordinary person, but I still underestimated him. There were some things that I didn't predict, Yi Xiling said with some regret. Ever since the first time she had seen Night Sorrow, Yi Xiling had spared no effort in trying to pull Night Sorrow to Crepe Myrtle. She had done so because she felt that Night Sorrow would have a bright future. But she had never imagined that in just a few years, Night Sorrow had already made such great achievements. His influence had already spread throughout the Eastern Shen region. 2 days later, Hou Jian and the others returned. The matter had been handled very smoothly. The other great sects did not have any objections. In fact, they were all in agreement. Medicinal pills were the most important resource in any force. Every force had their own pill refinement masters. However, because they did not have any pill refinement inheritance, they could only refine low-grade medicinal pills. There were almost no pill refinement masters who could refine 5th-grade medicinal pills. If they needed high-grade medicinal pills, they would have to travel hundreds of thousands of li to Eastern Shen City with the materials to exchange for them with pill refinement masters. Some even had to cross the domain sea to trade with other regions. Now that the Medicine Valley wanted to expand its medicinal pill business, it was a win-win situation. No one would object. Everyone ate dinner together. Lin Jingyi and the other disciples of the Medicine Valley were a little reserved. The Medicine Valley that they had stayed in before was still a little small. This time they came out to broaden their horizons. Night Sorrow poured Yi Xiling a cup of wine and said, Marshal Uncle Yi, you don't have to worry about the expansion of the Medicine Valley's medicinal pill business. What we need to consider is how to do it well. If we can make some connections in the Eastern Shen realm, I'll talk to the people in the North Sea. I think we can expand our medicinal pill business into the North Sea. Besides, I have some connections in the realm of unbounded desolation. It shouldn't be a problem for me to make a trip there. Yi Xiling's hand, which was holding the cup of wine, trembled slightly. You know people in the realm of unbounded desolation? Night Sorrow nodded and said, Yeah. I met the governor of Grand Desolation City some time ago. The governor of Roaring Tiger City is a forthright person. He even invited me to have a drink with him in the realm of unbounded desolation. As long as we don't harm the interests of the realm of unbounded desolation, I don't think he'll object. Yi Xiling felt a little numb. The strength of Night Sorrow's network had already exceeded her expectations. After drinking the wine, Night Sorrow went to cultivate. Now that his network had been established, there was nothing for him to do. Besides, he didn't have the energy to deal with these things. Yi Xiling left with the disciples of the Medicine Valley. Now that their network had been established, the Medicine Valley would have to act quickly. Now that all the major forces had given them face, it would be up to the Medicine Valley to decide how to do their business. Yi Shan cultivated diligently every day. Occasionally he would help Yang Lei give pointers to her disciples. Other than that, he would communicate with the members of the God-slaying squad. Ho Qingjie had already reached the peak of the spirit-severing stage. Yi Shan knew that the average cultivation of the God-slaying squad had stimulated him. He was also arrogant. Back then he was slightly weaker than Lei Bao and Lei Zheng. It was normal for him to catch up. Qingjie, be steady. The 5th stage is a dividing line. It's better to be steady. We're all brothers. No one cares about the level of your cultivation base, Night Sorrow reminded Ho Qingjie. Thank you, Captain. Lei Bao told me about this when we were drinking. I was a little impatient in the past. Ho Qingjie gave Lei Bao a thumbs up. Night Sorrow looked at Qin Zhen. I'm not just saying this to Qingjie. I'm also saying this to you. Although it's important to improve your cultivation base quickly, you have to be steady. I don't want any problems to happen to you. Qin Zhen smiled and nodded at Night Sorrow. There were more brothers around him and more people to chat with. Qin Zhen was much more cheerful. Captain, Qin Zhen is no longer a taciturn person. He also knows how to chat with everyone, Hou Jian said with a smile. Then I'm relieved. Qin Zhen, you're the youngest in the team. If you have any questions, just let us know, Night Sorrow said again and left. Actually, I'm about the same age as Captain. It's hard to say who's older, but in my heart, he's my 13th brother, Qin Zhen said as he looked in the direction Night Sorrow left. Ho Jian patted Qin Zhen's shoulder. He knew how close Night Sorrow and Qin Zhen were. Back then, Qin Zhen was willing to stand up for Night Sorrow and face his cousin together. This was very heartwarming for the young and lonely Night Sorrow. Sometimes things didn't need to be big. As long as it was heartwarming, he would never forget it for the rest of his life. Read novels for free. Night Sorrow also took extra care of Qin Zhen. As the years passed, their brotherhood would only grow deeper. Age doesn't matter. We're much older than Captain. Isn't Captain the one taking care of us? Xueling said as he walked over. Vice Captain, did you know that the other Blood Strike Guards have been mobilized? It seems like they're preparing for the sector war. However, it has nothing to do with us, Xuefei said. Why are you so excited? How can there be a battle without us? It's true that we used to be a reserve team, but who dares to treat us like that now? Besides, don't mention this in the future. We're the God-slaying team. Our missions are only given by Captain. We're not in the same battle order as the others, Xueling said as he looked at Xuefei. Chapter 577. Genius 1 second. Remember love, go. Little. We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Don't worry. Our mission is more important than theirs. They are just guarding their territory. We are conquering the world. The purpose of our existence is to make the Eastern Xian domain famous with our captain. Xueling said. Let's go, Xueling said. Night Sorrow cultivated for a few days and met the people from the Medicine Valley again. This time there were more people from the Medicine Valley. Yu Yangyu and several peak masters were there. Yu Yangyu came to see how his disciples were doing. The other peak masters came with resources and spirit stones. They wanted to expand the Medicine Valley's business. After Yi Shang held a banquet to entertain the guests, the peak masters left to deal with the resource expansion business. Master, what about our Taishan Peak? Taishan Peak also needs resources. 13 only cares about us. What about the other disciples? Yang Lei asked anxiously. It doesn't matter. They have already discussed it. Taishan Peak doesn't need to worry. The resources earned from the resource expansion will be divided equally among the 12 peaks, Yu Yangyu said with a smile. Night Sorrow and Yang Lei were relieved. Taishan Peak was what they cared about the most, so they were afraid that the Taishan Peak would suffer losses. 13 I came to see you. I am relieved to see that you are doing well, Yu Yangyu said after looking at Night Sorrow's mansion. Master, I am not a child anymore. I have grown up. You don't have to worry about me, Night Sorrow said as he poured a cup of tea for Yu Yangyu. Even if you have become a saint, you are still a child in my eyes. I still have to worry about you, Yu Yangyu said. Night Sorrow nodded. He understood the feelings in Yu Yangyu's heart. It was a master-disciple relationship that he could never let go of. Also, you have to make a trip to Danding Cliff as soon as possible. Your current level is enough. Don't lose the chance to own the 8-Dragon Cauldron if you accidentally break through one day, Yu Yangyu reminded Night Sorrow. Master, actually, 13 doesn't need the 8-Dragon Cauldron to recognize him as its master anymore. He now has the #1 spiritual treasure of the Qingtian domain to protect him. He plans to go to Danding Cliff to communicate with the 8-Dragon Cauldron for the sake of the Medicine Valley, Yang Lei said. After that, Yang Lei told him about Night Sorrow's situation and everything that had happened recently. Yu Yangyu thought for a moment and said to Night Sorrow, so that's how it is. You still have to go. It's not a burden to have too many treasures. Master, I don't need it. I'll see if I can communicate with the artifact spirit and let it recognize you as its master so that it can contribute to the Medicine Valley, Night Sorrow said. That's difficult. Spiritual treasures with artifact spirits are all arrogant. It will only recognize people who it thinks can help it rise and not let it down. In addition, spiritual treasures with artifact spirits cannot be transferred, Yu Yangyu said. Soon after, Night Sorrow also received a message from Shao Kong. The truth was that the artifact spirit would only recognize those who didn't disgrace them. Others wouldn't have this opportunity. If they wanted to forcefully convert the artifact spirit, they would have to kill the artifact spirit's intelligence, which was equivalent to destroying a high-grade spirit treasure. Then I'll go back and communicate with the 8-Dragon Cauldron first, Night Sorrow said. That's fine. Yu Yangyu nodded. He liked Night Sorrow's state of mind that was not affected by external things. After chatting for a while, Night Sorrow went to cultivate. He did not have any bottlenecks when he entered the Venerable Realm. The only thing he lacked was cultivation and time to accumulate cultivation. 9th brother, your 13th brother is good at everything but he's simple-minded. You have to help him check. Take the 8-dragon cauldron for example. What's wrong with getting it? Sometimes, such persistence is unnecessary, Yu Yangyu said as he watched Night Sorrow leave. Master 13 is sometimes stubborn. He has his own persistence in his heart. This doesn't make sense, Yang Lei said. That's true. This is his character. It's an advantage in human nature, but it's also easy for him to be taken advantage of, Yu Yangyu said as he shook his head. Perhaps it's because of this that his heart is not stained by a trace of dust. This is also the reason why his state of mind is clear. This is also quite good, Yang Lei said. There are no flaws in human nature. He can stand upright at any time and be worthy of heaven and earth. Then let's not talk about it. Let nature take its course. Yu Yangyu said after thinking for a while. Master, don't worry. 13 is quite suitable for adventuring outside. His mind is pure but he's not stupid, Yang Lei said with a smile. If he's stupid, can you approve of him? Yu Yangyu said with a smile. After cultivating the foundation for an entire night, Night Sorrow woke up early to cultivate his spear technique. Although he already had the realm, if he did not cultivate his spear technique for a day, Night Sorrow would feel that something was missing and would feel uncomfortable all over. Forever Free, read #novels. MPU Yangyu could not give Night Sorrow any pointers at the moment. He could only watch from the side and chat with Yang Lei and Sikong Chuyu. Now Yu Yangyu felt that his life was perfect. The Medicine Valley was already on the right track and had entered the ranks of the super forces in Eastern Profound Domain. As for himself, he had also entered the ranks of the high-level cultivators. The most important thing was that each of his 13 disciples had done well. Yu Yangyu nodded as he looked at Night Sorrow, who had finished cultivating his spear technique and walked over. 13. After listening to your eldest senior brother's introduction, your 12th senior brother is very interested in your team. He said that he will look for you after he reaches the 5th stage and wants to join your team, Yu Yangyu said as he looked at Night Sorrow. That's not very appropriate. Night Sorrow shook his head, feeling a little awkward. The God-slaying team was currently carrying out his orders. If Guan Yi came, Night Sorrow would feel uncomfortable commanding them. After all, seniority was seniority. It was not appropriate for a junior to command a senior. Master understands your concerns. This matter will indeed cause you trouble. Master is just asking. Let's talk about it later. Yu Yangyu said after thinking for a moment. Yu Yangyu thought for a moment and understood the reason. If Guan Yi as a senior joined Night Sorrow's team, Night Sorrow would feel uncomfortable commanding them. After all, he was different from Yang Lei and Sikong Chuyu. Master, this won't be too difficult, right? I'll talk to 12 when the time comes, Yang Lei said. It's fine. If he joins the team, 13 will have to take care of him and stand in front of him. But for Master, both are important, Yu Yangyu said. That was the truth. Guan Yi had fallen once, so neither Yang Lei nor Night Sorrow would let anything happen to him again. The consequences would be Night Sorrow and Yang Lei bearing the risk. Yu Yangyu stayed in Qingxin Cottage for a few days until the Peak Masters returned from their errands. Then he led a group of people back to Medicine Valley. After seeing off Yu Yangyu and the people from Medicine Valley, Night Sorrow sat down and thought quietly. He was considering whether he should follow Yu Yangyu's suggestion and return to Medicine Valley to take a look at Danding Cliff or go to the Realm Sea to take a look at the situation there. After thinking for a while, Night Sorrow decided to go to the Realm Sea first to take a look at the situation there. The matter at Danding Cliff was not urgent. Chapter 578. Genius 1 second. Remember Love Go divided by Xiao? Xiao provides you with wonderful novels to read. Since he could use the teleportation array, it was very convenient for Night Sorrow to move around. After 15 minutes, Night Sorrow walked out of West Sea City's teleportation array. Baidu search Love Go female sign Xiao www.ichux. So I'm riding on the Tianyu. Night Sorrow arrived at the battlefield in the Realm Sea. Looking at the solemn but orderly camp, Night Sorrow didn't stop. He directly went to the mountain where Wu Lingfei and Lin Yuandao were cultivating. Night Sorrow saw Wu Lingfei, Lin Yuandao and Hua Haining. Ling Long was also there. You're here. Wu Lingfei nodded. Aunt Fei, Lord K, Elder Hua, Senior Sister Ling Long. Night Sorrow greeted them. Night Sorrow, you're here. I have something to tell you. Baidu search Love Go female sign Xiao www.ichux.com, Wu Lingfei said. Then Wu Lingfei told Night Sorrow that Guxiao had broken through and was stabilizing his cultivation. Latrin Swan was currently using the Source Stone. Night Sorrow, you've brought a new era to Tianji Tower, Hua Haining said. Elder Hua, I'm very sorry. Knight Sorrow bowed to Hua Haining in embarrassment. He had helped a few people from Tianji Tower, but he hadn't helped Hua Haining. What are you saying? Tianji Tower being strong is better than anything else. Also, you should go to Heaven Vault Mountain when you have time and let those elders get to know you, Hua Haining said. Knight Sorrow nodded. Director Gua has successfully broken through. If Elderly can also break through, the situation will change. That's why we're not afraid of stalling for time. Also, Ling Long wants to join your god-slaying squad. What do you think? Wu Lingfei asked Knight Sorrow. No, the god-slaying team is a team from our Eastern Shen region. Senior sister Ling Long has nothing to do with it, Knight Sorrow rejected without hesitation. Isn't it good for everyone to fight side by side? Exquisite asked, frowning at Knight Sorrow. Not good. Everyone has different ideals. If Tianji Tower needs me, I will do my best to do it. At other times, I am a member of the Eastern Shen region. The dream of our god-slaying team is to conquer the world and let everyone know that there is a Eastern Shen region in the 9 regions and 18 prefectures. This idea has nothing to do with you. Knight Sorrow's rejection was resolute and decisive, leaving no room for negotiation. Lin Yuandao and Hua Haining were stunned for a moment. They shook their heads and didn't say anything. They could tell that Knight Sorrow wouldn't back down. Can't I help you fight? Exquisite asked. No. Right now the Eastern Shen region is weak, but that's only for now. I believe that as time passes this will change. There is no need for others to help you with what you can do yourself. Baidu search Love Gong Xiao Shua www.ichuxs.com, Knight Sorrow said. Can I fight for the Eastern Shen region in the future? Are you deliberately trying to make life difficult for me? Yi Shan's repeated rejection made Exquisite's anger rise. Knight Sorrow, you should reconsider this matter. In any case, the focus of our Tianji Tower will be in the Eastern Shen region in the future. It's not bad for the two of you to fight side by side, Hua Haining said with a smile. The god-slaying team has already been formed. If senior sister Ling Long wants to join, it will be very difficult for me to deal with it. It will cause a lot of trouble, Knight Sorrow said, somewhat conflicted. Ling Long Knight Sorrow is the commander of that team and he leads it very well. If you join, it will indeed cause some inconvenience for Knight Sorrow, Lin Yuandao said. I want to join but I don't want to be the captain. I will just be like an ordinary member. I will do what others do. Exquisite bowed to Lin Yuandao. Knight Sorrow, what do you think? Lin Yuandao looked at Knight Sorrow and asked. I want to be responsible for my brothers and sisters. When we are in battle, if a brother is in danger, the other brothers will not hesitate to block the blade. If senior sister Ling Long can do it, then I welcome you. If not, then sorry, there is no room for discussion, Knight Sorrow said. Ling Long, think about it again. This is not a joke, Wu Lingfei said. Master Wu Kei, Ling Long has thought it through. Ling Long likes the atmosphere of the god-slaying team. With such a group of brothers, Ling Long will not be lonely in this life. Ling Long does not want to give up such an opportunity. Ling Long bowed to Wu Lingfei. Then Knight Sorrow welcomed senior sister Ling Long on behalf of the god-slaying team. Hearing Ling Long's words, Knight Sorrow's heart was touched because Ling Long wanted a partner to fight side by side. This was understandable. Thank you, junior brother Knight. Ling Long nodded to Knight Sorrow. There is another news for the two of you. There is another member from the Taiching domain who passed the Heavens 5-star test. When he becomes the Heavens Terminus envoy, you will have another partner, Hua Haining said with a smile. This is a good thing. Our Tianji Tower needs outstanding young people, Wu Lingfei said. I don't believe there is a young man more outstanding than junior brother Knight, Ling Long said. Senior sister Ling Long, please don't say that. There is always someone better than you. Knight Sorrow hurriedly shook his head. Junior brother is really modest, but what you said makes sense. Ling Long nodded. Knight Sorrow, this is the opinion of the predecessors. What you need to do is to reach the top of the mountain. Lin Yuandao said. He planned to let Knight Sorrow become the young master, so he didn't want Knight Sorrow to lose his momentum. Look at the original chapter T section $3-. I've never thought about reaching the top of the mountain, but no matter how high the mountain is, I will climb it. No matter how high the mountain is, there will always be someone who can climb it. Knight Sorrow spoke his thoughts. Ah, well said. Hua Haining clapped his hands. He liked Knight Sorrow's spirit of never giving up. All right then, there is nothing for the two of you to do here. Go back to the Eastern Shen domain and cultivate. Wu Lingfei said. Ling Long, after you go there, take care of yourself. Don't make things difficult for your junior brother Knight. Lin Yuandao reminded Linglong. Don't worry, K-Master. Linglong will take care of herself and won't make things difficult for junior brother Knight. Linglong bowed to Lin Yuandao and the others. Following that, Knight Sorrow left the Realm Sea battlefield with Linglong. Junior brother Knight, I feel that you are somewhat rejecting me. Can you tell me why? I know that it is definitely not because we are both celestial extremity emissaries, but because we are competitors. If you don't care about this position, then I don't care either. Linglong asked while riding her mount. It's not rejection, but because I don't understand. That's why I don't want to communicate with you. Now that I understand you, there won't be such a situation in the future. Knight Sorrow said. You don't understand my situation. I come from a large family, but due to some special reasons I don't have any friends. So I yearn to be like you, to have brothers and friends who can share my burden. What others can do for me I can do the same. Linglong said. Chapter 579. Genius 1 second. Remember love divided by go divided by little? I'll provide you with interesting novels to read. I'm relieved to hear that. You've truly accepted me. Exquisite opened her mouth and said. Let's go, Exquisite said. You're reading a novel full thanks. I'm not a hypocrite and I don't say things that go against my heart. Things are what they are, Knight Sorrow said with a smile. That's why I admire you, junior brother, Exquisite said with a smile. As they chatted, the two returned to the eastern Shen region and arrived at Qingxin Villa. Senior sister, why don't you go back and rest first? I'll take you there later? Knight Sorrow asked Exquisite after entering Qingxin Villa. I don't want to live alone anymore. Since I've joined the God-slaying squad, I hope to be like them. Only then can they receive me sincerely. I also hope to gain their recognition through my own efforts. Love go little sake, Chu Linglong said. Haha, that's good too. Their living conditions are pretty good. Knight Sorrow smiled and brought Exquisite to the resting and cultivating area of the God-slaying squad. Clapping his hands, Knight Sorrow gathered the members of the God-slaying squad who were cultivating. Knight Sorrow directly said that Exquisite wanted to join the God-slaying squad, but he didn't mention her identity. That would make the members of the God-slaying squad feel unapproachable. Exquisite then stood up and expressed that she was willing to do anything for her brother. She was willing to take a blow for him. Liue Exquisite is a woman and has just joined the squad. There are a lot of things that she's not familiar with. Can you help her make arrangements? Knight Sorrow called out to Nan Liue. Exquisite, how old are you? Are you an older or younger sister? What's your cultivation? Nan Liue asked with a smile. Beauty Exquisite, do you have a boyfriend? Lei Jing asked with a grin. I don't have a boyfriend, but if you want to be my boyfriend, your cultivation must surpass mine and your combat strength must be higher than mine. Brother, you have to work hard, Exquisite said to Lei Jing. I like women who have their own ideas. Then let me ask you, Exquisite, what's your cultivation? Lei Jing asked. I don't want to discourage you, but you don't stand a chance. Work hard. If you work hard, it will be easier for you to pursue other girls in the future, Linglong said with a smile. I have a big heart. Everyone in the God-slaying squad knows that. You won't be able to hurt me, Lei Jing said with a laugh. Little brother, you have to change your target. Pretty boys aren't my cup of tea. Liue, bring me to a place to stay. Exquisite waved at Lei Jing before she called Nan Liue and left. Gigolo. I'm a gigolo? Captain's face is much paler than mine. Lei Jing rubbed his nose and said. These sisters used to be Captain's friends. They are very strong. I can't even see their cultivation basis. So you should take it easy, Ho Jian said, patting Lei Jing's shoulder. Vice Captain, you are a third-level Void Inquiry stage expert. Can't you see it? Isn't that at least the 7th level of the Void Inquiry stage? Holy shit. He's a great expert. Lei Jing exclaimed in shock. Do you think our deicide squad is a pig farm? Even a captain? Lei Bao asked. Let's not talk about this anymore. I'm going to cultivate. Lei Jing took a deep breath and said. He was joking with Linglong, but he was also shocked by Exquisite's cultivation base. Back in the backyard, Knight Sorrow drank tea while telling the two girls about Exquisite's situation. He also told them about Exquisite's attitude and personality. We'll go say hello later. Since we've accepted her, we should act like it, Yang Lei said. After dinner, Knight Sorrow brought the two girls to the God-slaying squad's cultivation area. The two girls went to chat with Exquisite and Nan Liue. Knight Sorrow communicated with Ho Jian and the others. Night Sorrow also told Ho Jian and Xueling that he would be away for a few days. Ho Jian and Xueling had also gotten used to such situations because they knew that Night Sorrow had a lot of things to deal with. Also, ask the brothers who want to go home and see if there are any difficulties in their families. If any of them are in trouble, we will help them to solve it so that they don't have to worry about anything. Night Sorrow said to Ho Jian and Xueling, "We've neglected that." Ho Jian said with slight embarrassment, "It's nothing. Just deal with it well. Also, if any of you have any juniors in your families that you're worried about, make arrangements for them. Rely on our connections, we'll recommend them to your respective sections." Night Sorrow said. After giving the instructions, Night Sorrow did not wait for the two girls. He went back to the backyard and played with Tianyu and the silver fox. Tianyu had already reached the 6th level of the Void Inquiry stage, while the silver fox had also reached the 7th level of the Divine Severing Realm. Night Sorrow was quite envious of them because they could improve their cultivation bases while playing and sleeping. Night Sorrow played with the two beasts for a while. When he was making tea, Yang Lei and Sikong Chuyu came back. S5 Original/C version U, how is it? Is Exquisite doing well over there? Night Sorrow asked. She's very adaptable. She's not a flower vase. She's quite good. Sikong Chuyu said with a smile. I'm going back to the Medicine Valley to Pill Cauldron Cliff tomorrow. The two of you should communicate more with the members of the God-slaying team. Night Sorrow said to the two girls. Then we won't go back with you. We really need to integrate into the team. Otherwise, everyone will only see us as the leader's women instead of teammates who can fight side by side. Yang Lei nodded. After that, Night Sorrow pulled the two girls into the main building. One night passed. Night Sorrow glanced at Yang Lei and Sikong Chuyu who were meditating. Then he went out of the room and rode Tianyu to the teleportation formation. Sitting in the teleportation formation, they arrived at Pill Cauldron City. After taking a look at the Golden Flame Palace, Night Sorrow rode Tianyu directly to Pill Cauldron Peak. This time he did not plan to disturb anyone. He just wanted to go to Pill Cauldron Cliff and try to communicate with the weapon spirit of the 8-Dragon Cauldron. Seeing Night Sorrow's arrival, Elder Su was very happy. Night Sorrow let Tianyu play at the side while he drank with Elder Su. After drinking a jar of wine, Night Sorrow was about to start climbing the cliff. Wait, are you going to reach the highest height now? Elder Su looked at Night Sorrow and asked. Yes, I'm going to try. Night Sorrow did not hide it from Elder Su. Then Elder Su let out a long whistle and told all the Medicine Valley disciples on Pill Cauldron Cliff to come down. In addition, no one was allowed to climb the cliff. After a while, all the Medicine Valley disciples on Pill Cauldron Cliff came down. Pill Cauldron Cliff had been cleared. You can start now, Elder Su said to Night Sorrow seriously. Sorry to disturb everyone. Night Sorrow turned around and cupped his hands to the Medicine Valley disciples. Then Night Sorrow began to climb the cliff. In the past he used to climb the cliff with both his hands and feet. But now he did not need to. Every time he exerted force on his feet, he rushed a few feet high. It was considered flying, not climbing. Elder, who is this person? Who climbs Pill Cauldron Cliff like this? A disciple who had joined the sect for 2 years asked. Chapter 580. Genius 1 second. Remember Love Go/Little? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. He's so young. I can't see his cultivation level, a female disciple from the Medicine Valley said. At this moment, a group of disciples from the Medicine Valley were discussing Night Sorrow's ascent of Danding Cliff. You're not the only one who can't see clearly. I can't see clearly either. The two of you are from the enforcement team, right? Guard this place and don't allow anyone to climb the cliff. The rest of you follow me to the opposite scenic mountain. We might witness a miracle today. Elder Su instructed the two enforcement disciples and asked a few people to inform the peak masters to come to Danding Cliff. Then he walked towards Scenic Mountain. At this moment, Night Sorrow's feet were several feet high as he rushed towards the top of Danding Cliff. 2,000 meters, 3,000 meters. Night Sorrow quickly flew and reached 5,000 meters. After drinking a mouthful of wine at 5,000 meters, Night Sorrow carried the wine jar and continued to climb. Elder Su, does our Medicine Valley have such a young disciple who can reach 5,000 meters without resting and continue climbing? A male disciple with a fuller body asked. Changquan, you're very outstanding. You entered the elixir list after 3 years. You should know a name, Elder Su said as he turned around and looked at the disciple named Changquan. A name? A name that I should know? Could it be Deputy Valley Master Yi who never appears? Chang Quan thought for a moment and said in surprise. Love, go little say W, Chu you're not stupid. When Deputy Valley Master Yi just entered the 5th level, he climbed to 7,000 meters. Does he need to rest now that he's at 5,000 meters? Elder Su said. Then all the peak masters from the Medicine Valley came. They were originally having a meeting to discuss the issue of resource expansion. After being informed by a disciple, they all came. After a while, this guy is finally willing to climb the cliff, Yin Beiji said emotionally. Today might be the day to witness a miracle. Yi Xiling was very confident in Night Sorrow. Soon, Night Sorrow reached 7,000 meters. At this time, Night Sorrow only had a little bit of energy left. Lifting the wine jug in his hand, he took 2 more sips. After taking a few deep breaths, Night Sorrow continued to charge upwards. 7,100 meters, 7,150 meters. Soon, Night Sorrow arrived at the legendary stairway of Danding Cliff. We've reached the stairway to heaven. How many years has it been since anyone from our Medicine Valley managed to step onto the stairway to heaven? Duan Lei said excitedly. This is just the beginning. Hua Yunpeng and the first elder appeared. They had just returned from outside. When they returned to the Medicine Valley, they noticed the hubbub of voices at Danding Cliff and came over. When they saw Hua Yunpeng and the first elder, all the members of Medicine Valley bowed to greet them. All right, quiet down. Hua Yunpeng waved his sleeves and said. Night Sorrow stood in front of the stairway to heaven. Withstanding the pressure, he tidied his robes and strode towards the front. At this moment the pressure was very great. However, it was nothing to Night Sorrow, who had a cultivation base at the 8th level of the Void Inquiry stage and a cultivation base at the mid-4th level of the Myriad Dao-seeking realm. Night Sorrow then walked forward confidently. The pressure he's enduring isn't great? Elder Su looked at Night Sorrow's back and asked with a surprised expression. It's not that the pressure isn't great. It's just that his endurance is very strong. He could reach over 7,000 meters when he just attained the Void Inquiry stage. His current strength is completely different from his previous strength. The current pressure doesn't affect him much. Hua Yunpeng said. 1,800 steps. Night Sorrow calculated the steps one by one. More and more disciples of the Medicine Valley came to the scenic viewing mountain. Among them there were also many senior disciples. These people all knew Night Sorrow. Shi Yunxiao, Shi Yunhai, Gu Lin Yu and the others had all come. Big brother, is this still the Night Sorrow who was at the same level as us in the past? Shi Yunhai, who was already at the late core condensation realm, looked at Shi Yunxiao and asked. He's still the same person. However, his level is no longer something that we can understand. Shi Yunxiao said. Gu Lin Yu and the others also looked at each other. They knew that Night Sorrow was strong, but they did not expect that Night Sorrow had already become this strong. Night Sorrow walked forward leisurely. In the blink of an eye, hundreds of steps appeared behind Night Sorrow. Right at this moment, a strange change occurred out of nowhere. The shadow of a huge cauldron with 3 legs, 8 faces and 8 dragon heads appeared in the sky above Pil Ding Cliff. The shadow rotated at high speed and charged towards Night Sorrow along with the energy it carried. Sensing the rapid increase in the impact of the energy, Night Sorrow instantly activated the Void Attribute Defensive Chi Barrier. Then he activated the Oneness of Heaven and Man to prevent the energy of Pil Ding Cliff from hitting him. As Night Sorrow activated the Oneness of Heaven and Man, the energy coming from Pil Ding Cliff brushed past Night Sorrow's body and did not cause any impact on him. The Oneness of Heaven and Man. The Venerable Realm. It's done. The energy of Pil Ding Cliff can no longer stop him. Hua Yunpeng's eyes were fixed on Night Sorrow's figure. After activating the Oneness of Heaven and Man, Night Sorrow did not let the energy of Pil Ding Cliff reach him and continued moving forward. It should be said that he moved forward without any pressure. Soon, Night Sorrow was not far from the end of the stairway. When he was 300 steps away, something strange happened again. The shadow above Pil Ding Cliff moved and charged towards Night Sorrow. What is this 8-dragon cauldron trying to do? Hua Yunpeng's hair stood on end. The 8-dragon cauldron's action was not a test. It was an attack. Will Night Sorrow be in danger? Elder Su was a little anxious. At this moment, Night Sorrow did not hold back. He waved his right hand and the space-time pagoda appeared. He smashed it towards the 8-dragon cauldron's shadow. A violent vibration was heard. The 8-dragon cauldron's shadow was blocked by the space-time pagoda. The space-time pagoda was still pressing forward. Night Sorrow waved his left hand and flattened his fluttering robe. He continued moving forward because the space-time pagoda was suppressing the 8-dragon cauldron's shadow. If you're a spiritual treasure, then you should have the awareness of a spiritual treasure. You shouldn't do things you shouldn't do. With the space-time pagoda in front, Night Sorrow walked to the end of the stairway and arrived in front of a quaint cauldron. Your name is Night Sorrow. I've known about you for a long time. I didn't want to attack you. However, you have a spiritual treasure and a weapon spirit. You shouldn't have come near me. A childish voice was heard. I didn't think about that. I don't have any ill intentions. I just want to talk to you. The Medicine Valley has risen. I need your help. You can't just help me with my cultivation. Night Sorrow said. At the same time he put away the space-time pagoda. The 8-dragon cauldron no longer had any intention of attacking. The previous chapter. I've done what I can. I've been doing this all these years, the childish voice said. But that's not enough. The Medicine Valley needs to protect itself and fight. Is that why I need your help? Night Sorrow said. You mean to acknowledge me as your master? But after so many years, no one has appeared who I don't feel humiliated. I want to follow a hero who can run rampant in the world, not a mediocre person, the childish voice, which was the weapon spirit of the 8-dragon cauldron, said. We have 2 venerables in the Medicine Valley. Can't they do it? Night Sorrow said with a frown. The words of the 8-dragon cauldron's weapon spirit were a little hurtful. Chapter 581. Genius 1 second. Remember love divided by go divided by little? I will provide you with wonderful novels to read. Night Sorrow was silent because this was a problem he had never thought of. He had never thought that the 8-dragon cauldron had taken a liking to him. Love, go little say, chew, last time as long as you entered the stairway to heaven, I would have let you come up. I originally thought that you would only need a few months to get there, but you didn't come. Now that you are here, you have other spiritual treasures with weapon spirits, the 8-dragon cauldron's weapon spirit said angrily when he saw that Night Sorrow did not speak. Don't be angry. I didn't want this to happen either, Night Sorrow said apologetically. Recognize someone else as my master? That's impossible unless you kill me, the 8-dragon cauldron's weapon spirit said. Then you have to contribute to the Medicine Valley. If you suddenly run away one day, the Medicine Valley will suffer a great loss. Night Sorrow said with a bitter smile. He did not want the 8-dragon cauldron and the Medicine Valley to happen to the Pagoda of Time and Space in the Qingtian region. You have amazing luck and will achieve great things in the future. It's not impossible for me to help you in the Medicine Valley. If you give me a strand of origin energy, I will borrow your luck and chi to cultivate. In the future, I will continue to stay here. If you want, I can also leave with you. Love, go little say, chew, the 8-dragon cauldron's weapon spirit said. All right. Night Sorrow said after thinking for a while. He knew that this could prevent the 8-dragon cauldron from being recognized as its master and prevent it from running away by itself. Then Night Sorrow waved his arm and sent a strand of soul energy into the ancient cauldron. Then it was absorbed by the weapon spirit inside the cauldron. Then a strand of energy rushed out of the cauldron and directly merged with Night Sorrow's body. Night Sorrow knew that this was the 8-dragon cauldron's origin energy. Sorry to trouble you, Night Sorrow said to the 8-dragon cauldron. Alright, go then. In addition, this is the cauldron spirit liquid. I will leave some for you every year. Then a white beam flew out of the 8-dragon cauldron and shot towards Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow waved his left arm and wrapped the medicinal cauldron spirit liquid with his energy. Then he poured away the wine he drank and put the medicinal cauldron spirit liquid inside. Is there anything I can do for you? Night Sorrow asked after putting away the jug. There's nothing else. Work hard on your cultivation. If anything happens in the Medicine Valley, I will fight. I can still tell the difference between those who cultivate the sacred cauldron sutra and help them, said the vessel spirit of the 8-dragon cauldron. I'll come back to visit you when I have time. Night Sorrow cupped his hands towards the 8-dragon cauldron. With your power of origin, I'm going to evolve again. You should stay away, said the 8-dragon cauldron. Night Sorrow nodded and left Pill Tripod Cliff in a flash. After a few flashes, he landed on the side of Scenic Mountain. Then he cupped his hands towards Hua Yunpeng and the Great Elder. Supreme Elder, I'm sorry. I already know what happened. This is very good. If anything happens, the people of the Medicine Valley can activate it. That's enough, Hua Yunpeng said with a smile. At this moment, the energy on Pill Tripod Cliff boiled and the energy clouds rippled in all directions. Then the 8-dragon cauldron shook violently. Then it shone brightly and directly rose into the sky. After rising into the sky, the 8-dragon cauldron continued to shine. At the same time, energy spewed out. White energy once again covered Pill Tripod Cliff. Night Sorrow noticed that the energy emitted by the 8-dragon cauldron was still white, but its body was surrounded by colorful light. It has been promoted to a mid-grade holy treasure. Lil Kong's voice sounded in Night Sorrow's mind. What about you? Night Sorrow communicated with Lil Kong. I don't know, but the Spacetime Treasure Pagoda is definitely more advanced than it. I'm now an incomplete weapon spirit. I don't remember or know many things. In terms of weapon spirits, it's more advanced than me. At the very least, it can communicate with sound, but I can't do that. Lil Kong communicated with Night Sorrow. You can do it in the future too. Night Sorrow comforted Lil Kong. At this moment, another ray of light was emitted from the 8-dragon cauldron. It instantly flew to Scenic Mountain and entered Night Sorrow's body. This is the power of the medicine spirit. After it fuses with your body, it can't help you much usually. However, once you are injured, it will allow you to recover in the fastest time. The 8-dragon cauldron's voice sounded in Night Sorrow's mind again. Night Sorrow bowed to the 8-dragon cauldron again. He felt that he had failed the 8-dragon cauldron. You don't have to think about anything else. With your power of origin, this holy treasure is complete. With your luck, it will continue to be promoted. The 8-dragon cauldron seemed to understand Night Sorrow's state of mind. You can take it with you, the Great Elder said. The Medicine Valley still needs it to nurture disciples. Night Sorrow glanced at the group of Medicine Valley disciples behind them and said, the Medicine Valley still has the Golden Flame Palace. The Golden Flame Palace can help disciples cultivate. You have brought too much to the Medicine Valley, but the Medicine Valley can't give you anything. If you want to take it with you, you can take it with you at any time, Hua Yunping said. I won't take it with me for the time being. Night Sorrow shook his head. After looking at Night Sorrow, Hua Yunping turned around and looked at the crowd of Medicine Valley disciples. The Medicine Valley has today. You must remember one name, Night Sorrow. The disciples of Medicine Valley can stand up straight and walk in the Eastern Profound Domain with their chests out. You must remember one person, Night Sorrow. The pride of our Medicine Valley. Greetings, Deputy Valley Master Knight. All the disciples of Medicine Valley bowed to him. Night Sorrow was about to return the greeting when the Great Elder stopped him. Night Sorrow, what are you doing? You are the Deputy Valley Master of Medicine Valley. You deserve their greeting. I forgot. I always thought of myself as a new disciple, Night Sorrow said, a little embarrassed. The original version Yi Xiling walked over and smiled at Night Sorrow. You can't joke like this. It'll be fun if you return the greeting today. The Medicine Valley has been developing rapidly. The disciples of the Medicine Valley are working very hard because they all know that a third-level Qi refining disciple of the Medicine Valley appeared out of nowhere a few years ago and brought glory to the Medicine Valley and them. This is very inspirational. They can't help but work hard to learn about it, Duan Lei said with a smile. Martial Uncle Duan, you must be joking. Night Sorrow cupped his hands to Duan Lei. I'm not joking at all. Not many people in the Medicine Valley know you, but almost no one doesn't know the name Night Sorrow. Duan Lei shook his head and said. Then Hua Yunping and the Great Elder pulled Night Sorrow to the Pill Tripod Hall. Gong Xian Lingxiao, the Medicine Valley is on the right track. I'm also tired, so I won't take care of the Medicine Valley's affairs. In the future, the Medicine Valley's affairs will depend on you, the Great Elder said to Gong Xian and Chu Lingxiao. Then choose a day. We'll respectfully send the Great Elder to the Hall of Worship, Gong Xian and Chu Lingxiao said. There's no need for such a grand ceremony. I felt that my realm was enough some time ago, so I'm going to touch the threshold of the Venerable Realm and see if I can make a breakthrough. Otherwise, I won't have much time left, the Great Elder said. Chapter 582. Genius 1 second. Remember Love Go /Shao? Shao on Net provides you with wonderful novels to read. No need. You youngsters still have a long way to go. You can keep the resources for your own use. Love Go /Shao Shao www.ichuxs.com, the Great Elder said with a smile. Just take it, Great Elder. It's a token of my appreciation. Night Sorrow took out a jade bottle and poured a dozen drops of life essence into the Great Elder's hands. A dozen drops wasn't a small number. Back in the Medicine Valley, the heaven-ranked disciples only used 1 or 2 drops of Medicine Cauldron Spirit Elixir. All right, I'll take it then. The great elder nodded at Night Sorrow. I know your world is out there. Don't worry about it. Come back and rest if you're tired. The Medicine Valley will always be your home, Hua Yunping said. Night Sorrow bowed to Hua Yunping and the great elder. If there's nothing else, I'll take my leave. Go. The great elder nodded at Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow cupped his hands at Gong Xian and Chu Lingxiao. Then he walked out of the main hall, released Tianyu and left. Resolute and decisive. This little guy has trained well, the great elder said as he looked in the direction Night Sorrow had left. It won't be long before he becomes a supremacy. He won't be a little guy anymore. Gong Xian, Lingxiao, you have to work hard. Hua Yunping said to Gong Xian and Chu Lingxiao. No matter how hard we work, it's useless in front of him, Chu Lingxiao said with a wry smile. Hua Yunping smiled. He knew that no matter who was in the same generation as Night Sorrow, they would be helpless. After Night Sorrow reached Danding City, he took the teleportation portal back to Qingxin Villa. Since he did not see Yang Lei and Sikong Chuyu in the main building of the backyard, Night Sorrow arrived at the training ground of the God-slaying squad. In the martial arts practice field, Night Sorrow saw the scene of a heated training session. However, he realized that everyone's training method was somewhat different from before. Currently, everyone was practicing joint attack tactics. What's going on? Seeing that everyone had stopped cultivating, Night Sorrow asked. Only why? This was Sister Linglong's idea. Sister Linglong's hometown has a group attack tactic, so we all wanted to try it out, Nan Liu said. This is a group attack technique that is popular in my hometown, Linglong said. That's because we don't understand formations. It would be great if we did. I've read some ancient books. There used to be formations in the past, but they were all lost. The main reason is that no one pays attention to them now, Yang Lei said. Others may not care, but we do. If you don't know formations, you can learn them. I'll leave for a while. After releasing Tianyu, Night Sorrow left directly. He planned to see Wu Lingfei. Wu Lingfei cultivated formations. This was something that Night Sorrow knew. This guy is in such a hurry. I wonder what he's going to do, Yang Lei said. I think the captain is going to study formations. When Ninth Senior Sister mentioned the formation attack tactic, the captain's eyes lit up, Nan Liu said. Sikong Chiyu nodded. She felt that this was possible. Night Sorrow was someone who did what he wanted to do. He would not drag things out. Sitting in the strategic teleportation portal, Night Sorrow arrived at Taiyue Domain's West Sea City. He went to the mountain next to the Realm Sea battlefield to see Wu Lingfei. Why are you here again? Wu Lingfei looked at Night Sorrow and asked. Ani Fei that. I want to learn formations. Night Sorrow hesitated for a moment before speaking. After all, formations were also an inheritance. It was a bit inappropriate to speak like this. If you want to learn, then learn. What's there to be embarrassed about? But can you handle it? You need to cultivate your body, your true energy, your innate bloodline power, and your soul power. Wu Lingfei looked at Night Sorrow and asked. I'll study it when I have time. It won't affect my main cultivation direction, Night Sorrow said. All right. From today onwards, I'll explain formations to you for 2 hours every morning, Wu Lingfei said. Wu Lingfei was naturally willing to teach Night Sorrow if he wanted to learn. In the following days, Night Sorrow cultivated the basics every night. In the morning he practiced spear arts for a while. After that, he would learn formations from Wu Lingfei. In the afternoon he would study formations by himself. Junior Sister Wu, do you think this guy doesn't know how to get tired? Lin Yuandao asked as he watched Night Sorrow inscribing formations in the distance. Indeed. Most people wouldn't be able to handle it. He must have a reason for studying formations. I'll ask him later. However, this guy's talent in formations is also ridiculously high. He'll understand as long as I explain it to him, Wu Lingfei said. This is a talent. He can cultivate any one of them, Lin Yuandao said. After Night Sorrow practiced inscribing formations for a while, he returned to his tent. Night Sorrow, tell Auntie Fei, why do you cultivate formations? Wu Lingfei looked at Night Sorrow and asked. It's like this. I want to study a joint attack formation. That way the members of the God-slaying team can increase their combat power. Night Sorrow explained why he wanted to cultivate formations. Actually, formations are very useful. It can be used in many ways. After hearing Night Sorrow's answer, Wu Lingfei nodded. Night Sorrow was a person who could calm down. He cultivated and studied formations at the same time. He felt that his life was very fulfilling. Half a month later, Night Sorrow's myriad Dao scripture had improved to the 5th level of the Dao-seeking realm. The crescent moon blade in his spirit sea had become more solid. His biggest gain was the cultivation of formations. Now he could already set up some low-level formations. After that, Wu Lingfei began to teach Night Sorrow mid-level formations. Night Sorrow cultivated every day without any worries in his heart. After all, the war was in a stalemate. The Qingtian region would not dare to start a war rashly. The Eastern Shen region, the North Sea region and the Tianji Tower did not have the intention to attack them either. Time passed very quickly. In the blink of an eye, 2 months had passed. Night Sorrow's true qi cultivation base improved very slowly. However, it had also reached the mid-8th level of the Void Inquiry stage. The Myriad Dao scripture had also reached the peak of the 5th level of the Dao-seeking realm. Night Sorrow's formation skills improved even faster. He had already mastered mid-level formations. He had also mastered a few high-level formations. Now that you know the rules and patterns of high-level formations, you can slowly study them yourself. Now Aunt Fei will teach you composite formations. Composite formations are the combination of several formations. If used properly, a low-level formation can display the power of a mid-level formation while a mid-level formation can display the power of a high-level formation. While Wu Lingfei was explaining, she began to casually set up a formation for Night Sorrow to observe. At this moment, Tai Shu Yen came. She chatted with Lin Yuandao casually. "Senior brother Lin, isn't it unnecessary for Night Sorrow to learn this? This guy should cultivate his combat power and walk the path of violence. Let others learn formations and whatnot." Tai Shu Yen said. She had been here a few times and she did not agree with Night Sorrow's practice of formations. She felt that he should focus on improving his combat power. Your idea is right. However, Night Sorrow's cultivation speed is too fast. It's good for him to stabilize his foundation while cultivating formations. After all, he is still too young. Learning formations can help him stabilize his foundation. Lin Yuandao spoke out the reason why he supported Night Sorrow in learning formations. Chapter 583. Genius 1 second. Remember love/go/little? Show.net provides you with wonderful novels to read. After taking Night Sorrow to practice drawing array diagrams for a while, Wu Lingfei brought Night Sorrow back. "Junior sister is here." Wu Lingfei greeted Tai Shu Yen. "If you have nothing to do, come and sit down. Senior sister has a pot of good tea to drink." "Night Sorrow, how's your array formation practice?" Tai Shu Yen asked while looking at Night Sorrow, who was brewing tea. "It's okay. The study of array formations is broad and profound. It needs to be studied slowly. I found that as long as you are willing to study array formations, there is no limit. Low-level array formations can be infinitely evolved." Night Sorrow said. "SG is the only genuine copy, all others equals N all, 5 is a pirated copy. Yes, studying array formations takes time, but it can also cultivate one's mind. Night Sorrow, find a few array formations in the middle and let the members of the God-slaying squad remember the positions. Then, cooperate with them to attack. The effect will be very obvious." Wu Lingfei said to Night Sorrow. "I understand." Recently, Night Sorrow had been studying this problem. Moreover, he had drawn a joint attack array diagram. A 3-person joint attack could use the 3 talents array, a 4-person joint attack could use the 4 directions constellation array, and a 5-person joint attack could use the 5 elements heavenly star array. Take this ancient array formation book and study it. What Aunt Fei can teach you is almost the same. In fact, after learning array formations, everyone is the same. As long as you are willing to study it, your achievements will be great. Love, go little, say W. Chu Lingfei handed a book to Yi Shang and said, "Don't worry. Aunt Fei, you don't want to teach me?" Night Sorrow looked at Wu Lingfei with some surprise. "It's not that I don't want to teach you, it's that I can't teach you. Aunt Fei has taught you the principle of array formations. You also understand the principle of mutual promotion and restraint. In the future you can slowly study it yourself. You are now able to arrange high-level array formations. You are already an array master." Wu Lingfei said with a smile. "I am an array master? Aunt Fei, please don't make fun of me. I only know a little bit of it." Night Sorrow said with a smile. "That's not up to you to decide. As long as you can set up a high-level array, you're an array master. If you can fuse 3 or more high-level arrays, you're an array grandmaster." Tai Shu Yen said. She was very shocked. It had only been a little more than 2 months, and under the circumstances of persevering in cultivation, it was really rare to be able to cultivate array formations to such a level. Take your time to study it. You'll definitely achieve something. Wu Lingfei was very optimistic about Night Sorrow's talent in cultivating array formations. To cultivate array formations, one needed to have a strong soul force, be good at deducing, and have a calm mind. Night Sorrow could do all of these. If you continue to ponder over alchemy and weapon forging, then you'll be developing in an all-round way, Tai Shu Yen said to Night Sorrow with a smile. Martial Uncle Tai, please don't attack me. I also have a purpose for learning array formations. Otherwise, I wouldn't have come into contact with this domain. Night Sorrow said with a smile. He knew that Tai Shu Yen didn't approve of him cultivating array formations. If this king remembers incorrectly, your information still says that you're an alchemist. What's your alchemy level? Lin Yuandao looked at Night Sorrow and asked. I can refine level 5 pills for my own use, Night Sorrow said. Night Sorrow, you just wait. Martial Uncle didn't say anything. Martial Uncle didn't stop you from studying weapon forging. Tai Shu Yen was completely speechless. She had really been hit by Night Sorrow. I won't learn weapon forging. When the time comes, I'll ask someone else to forge it, Night Sorrow said. After chatting for a while, Tai Shu Yen left. Night Sorrow also continued to meditate and cultivate. Junior Sister Wu, I think that after Inspector Gui stabilizes his cultivation we can start. First, we'll chase after Jiu Hai Tian and deal with him. Even if we can't kill him, we'll still have to seriously injure him. Then we'll start a war in Qingtian Domain's Jiu family, Western Nether Domain, and Tianfeng Dynasty of Taiqing Domain, Lin Yuandao said. Baidu search AI go xiao shua www.achux.com. Okay, this kind of confrontation will delay things. I guess that elderly will also have some news. It doesn't matter whether he has advanced or not. If he has reached the half-step saint realm and can block an invincible venerable, then we can fight. Wu Lingfei nodded. Lin Yuandao nodded. Borrowing source stones to cultivate did not mean that one could use them all the time. It also depended on one's luck. If one cultivated for 3 months, they would be able to comprehend it. If one could not comprehend it, it would be a waste of time. After cultivating the foundation for a night, Night Sorrow got up and began to cultivate his spear art. Seeing that Night Sorrow had finished cultivating his spear art, Wu Lingfei waved her hand at Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow, go back to Eastern Shen Domain and take the God-slaying team to stand by. There may be a war soon. Okay, then I'll go back now. Night Sorrow nodded, then called Tianyu, who was dozing off, and rode Tianyu away from the mountain peak. Senior brother Lin, I'll go organize the troops. After saying that, Wu Lingfei flashed to the front of the camp in the Realm Sea and called all the commanders together. Senior Sister Wu, do you plan to take action? Tai Shu Yen asked. Yes, gather half of the troops and let the people of Tianji Tower take them through the strategic teleportation array to enter Qingtian Domain's Jiu family, Taiqing Domain's Tianfeng Dynasty, and Western Nether Domain's hinterlands. If we go well here, then we'll directly start the war, Wu Lingfei said. Directly start the war? Tai Shu Yen asked in surprise. Yes, either we don't fight or we fight once. Since they want to fight us, then they'll have to pay the price, Wu Lingfei said. Night Sorrow returned to Eastern Shen City and gathered the members of the God-slaying team after arriving at Qingxing Cottage. I've been studying array formations during this period of time, mainly to increase our team members' ability to fight in groups. I'm going to draw an array diagram now. You guys record it down and then everyone can cultivate. Night Sorrow then started to draw an array diagram on the ground. Night Sorrow first drew the tripartite array diagram for a 3-person joint attack. Then he explained the changes in the array foundation of the tripartite array, as well as the changes in attack and defense after the changes in the array foundation. After explaining, Night Sorrow asked the members of the God-slaying team to familiarize themselves with any position in the array diagram. In other words, any 3 people would be able to use the tripartite array in a battle. Seeing that everyone had drawn the tripartite array diagram, Night Sorrow then drew the quadrangular constellation array for a 4-person joint attack and started to explain the changes in the array formation again. Everyone practice these 2 array formations first. Remember, my request is that any 3 or 4 people can form the array. Everyone has to be able to adapt to any position, Night Sorrow said to everyone present. Yes. Everyone replied with a straight back. There might be a big battle. I don't want to see any of you injured or damaged. The joint attack array formation will be very useful, so you have to familiarize yourself with it as soon as possible and apply what you've learned, Night Sorrow said to the members of the God-slaying team. Yishan still had 5-man and 6-man joint attack array diagrams. These were the array formations that he had picked out from the array formations that were most suitable for group attacks. However, he was afraid that the god-slaying team would be greedy, so he had only taught them 2 types of array formations. After receiving the array diagrams, the members of the god-slaying team studied the changes in every position in the joint attack array diagram and put themselves in their shoes to think about what to do. Everyone studied for a day and then began to train under the arrangement of Xue Ling and Hou Jian. Night Sorrow, aren't you going to practice? Exquisite shouted when she saw Night Sorrow flipping through the books. Chapter 584. Genius 1 second. Remember love divided by go divided by little? We will provide you with interesting novels to read. 13. You left to learn array formations? Yang Lei looked at Night Sorrow in surprise. Love gone little say W. Chu. Yes, I learned array formations from Andy Fei for 2 months. The effects are quite obvious. Give me a teleportation crystal and I can set up a teleportation array, Night Sorrow said with a smile. Then you are an array formation master. Captain, you are really awesome. You can fight, refine elixirs and set up arrays. You are an all-round expert, Nan Liu said with some emotion. Alright, you guys continue cultivating. I will return to the backyard. Remember, you have to be proficient in your cultivation. If you are not proficient in array formations, you are not allowed to cultivate anything else. After instructing Night Sorrow, he left. He wanted to go into seclusion to break through. A few days ago, he had cultivated the Myriad Dao Treasured Tome to the peak of the 5th level of the Dao Querying Realm. Now he could continue cultivating and break through. This is the first time Captain has forced us to cultivate, Ho Qingjie said. This is something that can increase one's combat strength and survival chances. You have to cultivate it. Ho Jian glared at Ho Qingjie. Night Sorrow spent 3 days in seclusion this time. After 3 days, Night Sorrow officially cultivated the Myriad Dao Treasured Tome to the 6th level of the Dao Querying Realm. As he advanced, the power of the Myriad Dao Treasured Tome became stronger and faster. What made Night Sorrow a little depressed was that his bloodline talent had loosened a little. However, he could not activate it. He was still a little short of maturity. After leaving the secret cultivation room, Night Sorrow started cultivating his spear skills. The increase in the cultivation level of the Myriad Dao Treasured Tome made Night Sorrow's spear skills more swift and violent. Besides the increase in the power of the Myriad Dao Treasured Tome, Night Sorrow's physical strength had increased as well. With greater strength, the strength of his attacks would naturally increase. After cultivating his spear skills for a while, Night Sorrow arrived at the training ground where the god-slaying squad was cultivating. When Night Sorrow arrived at the training ground, he was very satisfied with the situation. This was because the god-slaying squad's joint attack formation had already taken shape. They were all practicing in groups and constantly changing positions. Clapping his hands, Night Sorrow asked everyone to stop cultivating. Not bad. We are already on track. Let's go out for a drink and relax before coming back to cultivate. Yishang led a group of people to a restaurant and ordered the best food and wine. Then he led everyone to start drinking. Captain, I'm sure you have more than 2 formation diagrams, right? Nan Liu asked as she drank her wine. That's true. However, everyone should first familiarize themselves with the 2 sets of joint attack formations. In the future, I'll give you 2 sets of formation diagrams, Night Sorrow said after taking a sip of wine. Let me tell you something. The joint attack formation is the team leader's painstaking effort. It is also the ultimate move of our god-slaying squad. Everyone make sure to keep it a secret. Do not leak it out, Ho Jian said as he looked at everyone. Don't worry. We will cherish the captain's efforts, Lei Bao said. After drinking, the group returned to the mansion. The members of the god-slaying squad continued to cultivate the joint attack formation. Night Sorrow went to a corner of the training ground and meditated. His current direction was to improve his soul power and bloodline talent. As for his true energy and the Myriad Dao Tome, Night Sorrow wanted to be stable. His true energy and the Myriad Dao Tome had been improving too quickly recently. Rapid improvement would cause his cultivation base to be unstable. Although the direction of their cultivation was different, everyone was in high spirits. Night Sorrow continued to absorb the power of space transmitted by the Spacetime Pagoda and hit the 5th bloodline talent energy point under the dragon bone. 9th Senior Sister, is the captain 20 years old? Why do I feel that even someone a few decades old is not as mature as the captain? Love Gone Little Say, Chunin Liu looked at Night Sorrow and asked Yang Lei, who was meditating in a corner of the training ground. How could there be a mistake? If we calculate based on bone age, he was 14 when he joined the sect. Now that he has been in the sect for 4.5 years, he is not even 20 yet. His actual age is a little over 20, Yang Lei said. Ah, ninth senior sister, you and Chuyu are scourges. You are eating young grass. Ling Long said with a smile. You are too vicious, Sikong Chuyu said as he reached out and pushed Ling Long. While everyone was familiarizing themselves with the joint attack formation, they continued to cultivate. Night Sorrow sat there motionlessly and worked hard to break through the 5th bloodline talent energy point. Time slipped by slowly. In the blink of an eye, more than 10 days had passed. Night Sorrow realized that the 5th bloodline talent energy point was loosening. He took out a spatial crystal and started to break through it. Ninth senior sister, will Night Sorrow be fine cultivating like this? Sikong Chuyu, who had finished cultivating the joint attack formation, asked worriedly. He should be fine. Let's wait for another 2 days. If he still can't do it, we will wake him up. Cultivating like this is not good. It will tire him out. Yang Lei nodded. She also did not want Night Sorrow to work too hard. Night Sorrow was absorbing the energy from the spatial crystal. Together with the spatial energy from the spacetime pagoda, they rushed towards the 5th bloodline talent energy point under the dragon bone. As Night Sorrow worked hard to break through, the 5th bloodline talent energy point under the dragon bone on his back began to shake. Then it started to erupt. At this moment, Night Sorrow's body was filled with rich spatial energy. A moment later, Night Sorrow's body trembled. The 5th bloodline talent energy point was completely activated. After activating the 5th bloodline energy point, the spatial energy within Night Sorrow's 5 bloodline energy points began to circulate and rush towards the 6th bloodline energy point from time to time. QS only 1, PSX version 5D, its F unspecified currency he 1, all %. Is Grobber 3 version? Night Sorrow knew that he didn't know how long it would take to activate the 6th bloodline talent energy point. Right now, the 5th bloodline talent energy point was extremely empty. He needed to slowly cultivate until the 5th bloodline talent energy point was completely saturated. Only then would it be effective to activate the 6th bloodline talent energy point. After sensing the condition of his body, Night Sorrow stood up and put away the spatial crystal in his hand. He then walked over to the god-slaying squad. Captain, you can't cultivate like this. You'll tire yourself out. Nan Liua looked at Night Sorrow and said. Recently, I've been trying to break through a bottleneck, so I've been a little impatient, Night Sorrow said with a smile. But your cultivation hasn't broken through? Ling Long asked Night Sorrow. It's not in terms of cultivation. It's something else. Currently, you guys have no problems cultivating the 2 joint attack formations. I'll get you guys another joint attack formation diagram in a few days. I don't know when the news of the battle will arrive, but I think it'll be soon, Night Sorrow said as he tidied up his robes, which were slightly wrinkled from sitting cross-legged for a long time. Night Sorrow knew that when Wu Lingfei said to prepare for the battle, there was going to be a battle. However, he didn't know when the battle would start or what kind of battle it would be. Then, Captain, give us another joint attack formation diagram, the tripartite formation and the 4 corners constellation formation. Our brothers have already cultivated it well, Ho Jian said. That's fine. You guys continue cultivating the joint attack formation. Night Sorrow took a branch and drew the 5 elements heavenly star formation diagram on the ground. He then explained it to everyone. Chapter 585. Genius 1 second. Remember love divided by go divided by little? Saying net, providing you with wonderful novels to read. Night Sorrow had activated his 5th bloodline energy point, increasing his bloodline energy by more than a third, close to half. This was not the most important thing. The most important thing was that the 5th bloodline energy point had a lot of space, which meant that there was a lot of room for development. Baidu search AI go female sign xiao say www.aichuxs. So if Night Sorrow could fill up the space in all 5 bloodline energy points, the power of the space crack would double. A cultivation maniac. Being in the same generation as a cultivation maniac is destined to be a tragedy for a genius like me, Exquisite said while rubbing her forehead. Ah, that's why we have to work hard. If we don't work hard, we won't be able to fight alongside Captain in the future, Ho Jian said with a smile. Love go little say Webku, that's true. Let's continue to work hard. Let's study the diagram first. Exquisite took out the diagram she had drawn and began to study it. This is a delicate job. I'm really surprised that Captain could do it so well, Lei Bao said. You mean Night Sorrow is very careless? Actually, Night Sorrow is very meticulous, Sikong Chuyu said with a smile. Time slipped away bit by bit. Night Sorrow absorbed the energy of the space crystal to strengthen his bloodline talent. At the same time, he cultivated his soul power and the crescent blade of the soul extinguishing slash. At the same time, he also cultivated his chi. The myriad Dao tomes stabilized his cultivation and improved it naturally. The space of Night Sorrow's fifth bloodline energy point was terrifying. Night Sorrow only increased the saturation by a small amount after using a space crystal. After 20 days, Night Sorrow absorbed the energy of 3 space crystals to fill up the space of the fifth bloodline energy point. Taking a deep breath, Night Sorrow stood up and created a space crack. After the crescent-shaped space energy slash appeared, it slashed forward. Space was like a piece of white paper as a black hole was cut open. Furthermore, under the control of Night Sorrow's state of the union of heaven and man, the spatial tear closed very slowly. Looking at the space crack slowly closing, Night Sorrow felt that if he tried his best to control it, the space crack could last for a while. However, he still did not understand what the space crack was. Looking at the turbulent space flow inside the space crack, Night Sorrow knew that if he went in he would die. Night Sorrow stared blankly at the closing spatial rift. The members of the God-slaying squad ran over and stared blankly at Night Sorrow. Everyone had seen the spatial crack that Night Sorrow had created, but they didn't understand how Night Sorrow had done it. Night Sorrow, what was that move of yours? Exquisite asked, looking at Night Sorrow. It's an innate skill, but it's not perfect yet. I don't know how it works yet, Night Sorrow said as he rubbed his messy hair. It's not perfect yet? That's really not going to let us live. Exquisite was a little depressed. Night Sorrow's move was so strong, but it was still not perfect. Then, Night Sorrow asked everyone to cultivate while he continued to think about the cultivation direction of the space crack. Night Sorrow had heard from Wu Lingfei that the space crack could break open space. It could even be used to enter the turbulent space flow and travel through space. However, he couldn't do it now, even if he was a supremacy. Love, Gone Little, Say, W. Chu. After thinking for a while, Night Sorrow felt that he should wait until he reached the supremacy realm. He was still lacking a lot. Then, Night Sorrow sat down and stabilized his bloodline talent. He quickly absorbed 3 space crystals to stabilize his cultivation. While stabilizing his bloodline talent, Night Sorrow also took the Mystic Turtle Crystal to cultivate. His soul power, true chi and myriad Daoist tome began to advance together. After cultivating for a few more days, Lan Yuxuan came with Wu Lingfei's order. She asked the God-slaying squad to enter the Qingtian domain and wait for orders to fight. Once the order arrived, they would attack the Jiyu family's forces in the Qingtian domain. Lan Yuxuan was responsible for protecting everyone. In addition, Night Sorrow didn't know that Lin Yuandao had sent someone to inform Gold Palace Master Yao Yang to protect Night Sorrow's squad. Yao Yang was waiting for Night Sorrow to meet up with him. Everyone get ready. We'll set off in 2 hours. Night Sorrow gave the God-slaying squad an order. They didn't prepare much, so they set off immediately. The group took the strategic teleportation array and went directly to the underground hall of the Celestial Peak Pavilion in the Qingtian domain. They left the underground hall and rested in the courtyard behind the Celestial Peak Pavilion. It was more convenient to travel at night. Lan Yuxuan took out a map and pointed to the attack point circled on it for Night Sorrow. It was the Jiyu family's Ji Royal City. Currently, most of the Jiyu family's forces were in Qingtian City, but the origin of the Jiyu family was in Ji Royal City. This time, Night Sorrow and the others' first target was Ji Royal City. Their second target was Jiyu family's branch and property in Valurium City. Let's go as soon as possible. There was no teleportation array to Ji Royal City. It wasn't that there was no teleportation array to Ji Royal City, but they couldn't use it. If they did, they would be discovered by the Ji family in advance. While Night Sorrow and the others were resting, Lan Yuxuan met up with Yao Yang, who was in charge of protecting the operation. Yao Yang wouldn't participate in the battle. He followed in secret to protect everyone's safety. His main concern was Night Sorrow and Ling Long's safety. The others were secondary. When the sky turned dark, the group left the Celestial Peak Pavilion on their mounts and set off for Ji Royal City. Night Sorrow and the others were in high spirits. In fact, they were very excited. Supervisor Lan, are there any venerables from the Jiyu family in Ji Royal City? Night Sorrow asked. The existence of venerables was the most unstable factor, so Night Sorrow wanted to know. Maybe, but it won't be a high-level one. Leave it to me. What the god-slaying team needs to do is to strike down Jiyu's family's arrogance and destroy their base. This should be a big blow, Lan Yuxuan said. We should be supporting the operation, right? Night Sorrow looked at Lan Yuxuan and asked. Yes, Master Wu Kei and the others should be moving. I don't know the details. We will wait for news when we arrive at Ji Royal City. There is a branch of Tianji Tower there. If there is a battle order they will send it to us directly, Lan Yuxuan said. Night Sorrow nodded. He believed that Wu Lingfei and Lin Yuandao should have made the appropriate arrangements. Otherwise they wouldn't start the battle. After arriving at Ji Royal City, the group didn't enter the city. Instead, they set up camp outside the city and waited for news of the battle. Let me tell you. Our battle is only against cultivators. We won't attack cultivators below the 3rd stage, Night Sorrow said to the members of the god-slaying team. Bang! The members of the god-slaying team responded to Night Sorrow by knocking on their breastplates. Let's set up camp and rest. Ho Jian, send someone to stand guard. Night Sorrow gave the order to set up camp. After setting up camp, Night Sorrow stood on the mountain and looked at Ji Royal City. He knew that the battle between him and the Jiyu family was about to begin. The hatred for Father Gu's arm was about to be resolved. What are you thinking about? Sikong Chuyu came to Night Sorrow's side. Chapter 586. A Genius Remembers Love in 1 Second? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Don't worry. We've waited for a few years. A few more days won't make a difference, Sikong Chuyu said. Night Sorrow nodded. In fact, his heart had always been very calm. He would use actions to solve some things and would not let other things affect his mood. 13. We should be supporting the Realm War next. Could it be that West Sea City's Realm C is about to officially start a war? Yang Lei also came to Night Sorrow's side. P% Yangji $V red carrot novels for free. The battle in the Realm C is actually just a supporting role. The real battle is still between the saints, said Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow then gave his opinion. Night Sorrow believed that Wu Lingfei, Taishu Yen, and the others would not choose to fight in a mutually destructive manner. That way, Eastern Xian region, Northern Sea region, and Tianji Tower would all suffer some losses. If a saint were to join the battle, Jiyu and Haitian would definitely seek revenge. The Eastern Xian region, Northern Sea region, and Tianji Tower wouldn't be able to withstand it. According to Night Sorrow's estimation, Wu Lingfei and the others would adopt his original plan, which was to kill Jiyu Haitian first. Then Wu Lingfei and Lin Yuandao would be able to attack without any scruples. Baidu search AI go female sign Xiao say www.ichuxs. Xiomc Kong Chiu looked at Night Sorrow and asked, according to what you said, we have at least 3 saints on our side and possibly 4? I'm not sure about Elderly. He's an unknown factor. Chief Supervisor Gua has definitely broken through. Night Sorrow nodded. If we can successfully kill the Jiyu family's saints, we'll have more than 3 saints and some peak-level venerables on our side. By then we'll be able to crush the Tianfeng dynasty from the Qingtian domain, the West Nether domain and the Tai Qing domain, said Yang Lei. It's like this. If we can wait for the news of the battle, then everything will go smoothly. Night Sorrow said. He knew that Wu Lingfei and Lin Yuandao weren't reckless people. They wouldn't declare war without killing Jiyu Haitian. If they received the battle information, it meant that they had succeeded. Then we'll wait. Sikong Chiyu nodded. After observing Ji Royal City for a while, Night Sorrow returned to the campsite. Seeing that the members of the God-slaying squad were still cultivating the 5 elements heavenly star formation, Night Sorrow nodded in satisfaction and entered the tent to meditate. The brothers of the God-slaying squad did not need anyone to supervise them at all. Night Sorrow was not worried at all. Captain's will to fight is very strong, said Ling Long, who had stopped cultivating. Because Jiyu's family owes our captain. This time they have to pay it back, said Qin Jin. It can't be? I'm well informed. It said that our captain stole the woman that Jiyu's family likes, Nan Liu said as she looked at Qin Jin. That's not important. What's important is that Jiyu's family cut off one of our captain's father's arms, said Qin Jin. Qin Jin knew more about Night Sorrow than the others. How can this be? Our captain's father's revenge is our revenge. We must kill him mercilessly. Xueling said. Xueling said. It's not his father. It's his adoptive father who raised Night Sorrow. Because of him, his adoptive father was wronged. Night Sorrow is very sad, said Sikong Chiu, who had walked over with Yang Lei. He's too shameless, said Ling Long, that's why this is a big grudge. Yang Lei knew how much Night Sorrow cared about old Gu's father. Then when the order to fight comes, we'll start killing and burn Ji Royal City, said Ling Long after hearing Yang Lei and Sikong Chiu's words. That won't work because our captain won't let us hurt the innocent. If we burn Ji Royal City, the ordinary people will be affected, said Ho Jian. Are you a pig? I'm asking you if you're a pig. We won't burn the houses of the ordinary people. We'll burn the city lord's mansion and Ji Yu's family's nest and steal their resources. Nan Liu scolded Ho Jian. I like that. We'll just rob them. We're righteous people. Otherwise we'll rob the women of Ji Yu's family too, said Lei Zheng. Righteous people? Forget about it. If it weren't for our god-slaying squad having some rules, I reckon you wouldn't even let Ji Yu's aunties off, said Ho Qingjie as he glanced at Lei Zheng. You can insult my body but you can't insult my character. Do I have such bad taste? Lei Zheng turned around and grabbed Ho Qingjie's robe, glaring at him. Let's not get physical. If you treat me like this, I'm worried that I won't be able to control my mouth. At that time you'll be the one embarrassed. I remember the last time we went to buy battle robes, I think I waited for you at the entrance of some shop for an hour, said Ho Qingjie as he patted Lei Zheng's hand. Brother, there's dust on your robe. Let me help you pat it off. Lei Zheng's attitude immediately changed after hearing Ho Qingjie's words. Yes, there's dust on my back. Let me pat it a few times. Ho Qingjie shook his robe. Lei Zheng chuckled as he patted Ho Qingjie's back. It was obvious that Ho Qingjie had taken out something that could be used against him. We're not interested in the trivial matters between men. Let's continue. Ling Long gave Lei Zheng and Ho Qingjie a disdainful look before returning to her tent. Night Sorrow began his cultivation using the Time Pagoda. However, he asked Shao Kong to stop the transfer of spatial power to him. The innate bloodline power needed to be stabilized and not improved. Without cultivating spatial power, Night Sorrow focused on cultivating his true chi and soul power at full speed. The others did the same. They were improving their strength at full speed. The days passed peacefully. The members of the god-slaying squad were very passionate about their cultivation. It was mainly because they had abundant resources. The treatment of the Blood Robes guards in the City Lord's mansion of Dongshin City was very good. However, there was also a limited number of 5th-grade pills. Now, however, the members of the god-slaying squad were not like that. As long as they needed it, they could get it. The effect of having abundant resources was that their cultivation base improved rapidly. Currently, the members of the god-slaying squad were all at the 2nd level of the Void Inquiry stage. Once they break through to the 3rd level of the Void Inquiry stage, they would not be far away from the 4th level of the Void Inquiry stage with the help of the Void Pill. In terms of the use of pills, Night Sorrow had set a rule for the Void Pill. Each member was not allowed to use more than 2 pills. He did not want them to suffer from the drawbacks of having unstable cultivation bases just for the sake of improving their cultivation base. Everyone also knew that it was not that Night Sorrow was reluctant to use his resources. It was also not that he did not have enough resources. Night Sorrow was just thinking about everyone's future. With the improvement of his soul power and the cultivation of the Crescent Blade, Night Sorrow was able to execute the soul-extinguishing slash with ease. The effect of the slash was very strong. He could completely kill the demon beasts without them noticing. However, using the soul-extinguishing slash consumed a lot of Night Sorrow's soul power. Currently he could only use it 3 to 4 times. When he used it for the 4th time he would feel dizzy. On the 6th day after they arrived, they received a battle order. It was a secret letter sent by a law enforcer of the Tianji Tower. Chapter 587. Genius remembers love in 1 second/small? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Bang. The members of the god-slaying team knocked on their armors with their left hands in response. Don't kill the old, the weak, women and children. Don't kill anyone below the 3rd rank. Let's go now. Get on the mounts. Night Sorrow waved his reincarnation spear and gave the order. Then he released Tianyu. The members of the god-slaying team followed behind Night Sorrow's Tianyu and flew toward Ji Royal City. That was the origin of Ji Yu's family. Lan Yuxuan flew behind the team. Behind the team was Yao Yang, who was wearing a golden robe. After entering the city, the team was attacked by the city guards' crossbows. However, the crossbows weren't a threat to them. Many of the members of the god-slaying team were proficient in flying swords. Each of them killed the city guards with a flying sword. Supervisor Lan, please help us destroy the teleportation formation. Just destroy it. We'll take care of the battle, Night Sorrow said to Lan Yuxuan. Okay, I'll go now. Lan Yuxuan nodded and left. Night Sorrow and the team flew directly toward the eastern city. G_more knew fastest, on $6 G Royal City was very big. After all, it was the origin of Guyu's family. After half a cup of tea's time, the team arrived at the ancestral land of Guyu's family. Set fire. Ho Jian roared. At this moment, the fire element members of the god-slaying team started shooting fire element sword lights at the gardens and houses of Guyu's family. The violent fire element sword lights set the buildings of Guyu's family on fire. Split up and fight. If you can't hold on, let out a long whistle. Night Sorrow ordered while flying on his flying feather. Following Night Sorrow's order, the members of the god-slaying team started to land in groups of 5 and attacked in all directions. Night Sorrow took Lei Bao, Sikong Chuyu, Yang Lei, Ho Jian, and a dozen others and rushed toward the ancestral shrine of Guyu's family. At this time Lan Yuxuan also rushed over. She had also completed the task given to her by Night Sorrow. The ancestral temple was the core area of Guyu family, and was also the symbol of Guyu family. However, Night Sorrow and the others had also received the news that the people guarding the ancestral temple were all old people. Even if there were some venerables among them, they were not powerful. Those powerful venerables had already gone out to conquer the world instead of staying in Guyu family. Guyu family was the dominator of the Qingtian realm. Therefore no one dared to provoke them. Therefore Guyu family didn't leave any powerful ones in their territory. Night Sorrow and the others arrived in front of the ancestral temple of Guyu family. Ho Jian and his people started setting fires and killing guards. Night Sorrow didn't move because he discovered that there were still venerables in the ancestral temple. While Night Sorrow was wondering why there were 2 venerables here, an old man and a middle-aged man rushed out of the ancestral temple of Guyu family. Who are you? How dare you? The old man roared out. He was the old man guarding the ancestral temple of Guyu family. If I were a coward, I wouldn't have come to your family's territory, said Night Sorrow coldly. You're courting death. I'm Guyu Haiqing, so you won't be able to leave this place alive. Guyu Haiqing fixed his eyes on Lan Yuxuan. His cultivation base was lower than Lan Yuxuan's, and he knew that Lan Yuxuan was his biggest enemy. Supervisor Lan, do it? Night Sorrow waved his arm. Guyu Haiqing roared out while throwing a space imprisonment spell towards Night Sorrow. Then he waved his hand and sent out a beam of sword chi towards Night Sorrow. He planned to kill Night Sorrow first. Your opponent is me. You don't have much time left. Today I'll send you away. Lan Yuxuan's body flashed across the air and blocked Guyu Haiqing's way. Then the 2 of them started fighting. The middle-aged man took out a long sword and pointed it at Night Sorrow. How dare you come to our family's territory and make trouble? Today you'll all die. You're just a level 1 venerable who just entered the venerable realm. How dare you talk so big? Don't worry about it. Burn this place down. I want to see this place in ruins. Love go little say. Night Sorrow waved his reincarnation spear and gave an order to the people behind him. Everyone below the venerable realm is like an ant. I Guyu Zhangyuan haven't killed anyone since I entered the venerable realm. Today I'll start with you. The middle-aged venerable Guyu Zhangyuan looked at Night Sorrow and the others and said, Captain. Lei Bao looked at Night Sorrow with relief. Don't worry. I'll kill a venerable today. Night Sorrow waved his hand and told the others to get back to work. Then he started fighting the middle-aged venerable. Then you'll die. Guyu Zhangyuan waved his left hand and threw the space bind, which was unique to the venerable realm, onto Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow smiled. At this moment the area around him was under his control. The space bind of a beginner venerable had no effect on him. Since Guyu Zhangyuan attacked, Night Sorrow didn't hold back either. He rushed forward and unleashed the 7 stars brilliant moon spear art. The 7 spears merged into one and pierced towards Guyu Zhangyuan's chest. When Guyu Zhangyuan used the space bind, Yao Yang, who was protecting Night Sorrow, became anxious and rushed forward to help. However, he stopped halfway because Guyu Zhangyuan's space bind was ineffective on Night Sorrow. This meant that Night Sorrow could fight. Guyu Zhangyuan was stunned when he saw that the space bind was ineffective on Night Sorrow. He didn't understand what was going on. As a matter of fact, it wasn't Guyu's fault that he didn't understand. Since ancient times, Void Inquiry stage cultivators had to reach the Venerable Realm first before reaching the Venerable Realm. In other words, Almost all those who had attained the unity of heaven and man realm were venerable realm experts. Night Sorrow had reached the unity of heaven and man realm, and it was almost impossible for cultivators to reach the unity of heaven and man realm. Even though he was thinking when he saw Night Sorrow attacking him, Jiyu Zhangyuan swung his long sword at Night Sorrow's reincarnation spear. Asterisk clang. Asterisk a crisp sound rang out. Jiyu Zhangyuan was knocked back by Night Sorrow's violent spear attack that was infused with spiral force. Night Sorrow's innate strength and his spear technique were not something that Jiyu Zhangyuan could withstand. After knocking Jiyu Zhangyuan back, Night Sorrow dashed forward and launched the 7-star glorious moon spear at Jiyu Zhangyuan again. This time Night Sorrow used the vibration force. Jiyu Zhangyuan roared furiously and swung his sword at Night Sorrow's reincarnation spear again. Asterisk buzz asterisk a strong vibration sound rang out. Jiyu Zhangyuan's body was knocked back again. His right arm was raised to the back. The strong vibration caused him to suffer a great loss. Right at this moment, Night Sorrow threw the space bind that he had mastered onto Jiyu Zhangyuan. After that, the innate bloodline power in his body erupted and he released a spatial crack. Asterisk rip asterisk the sound of something piercing through the air was heard. The space in front of Night Sorrow was cut open like a calm water surface. Sensing danger, Jiyu Zhangyuan dodged to the side. Although he dodged very quickly, Night Sorrow's space bind still affected him. Affected by the spatial crack, his left arm and half of his shoulder were cut off. I said that I will kill the Venerable today, so I will definitely kill him. Night Sorrow dashed forward and launched the 7-star glorious moon spear again. This time he did not merge the 7 spears into one. Instead he launched 7 spear lights at Jiyu Zhangyuan. Damn it. At this moment, Jiyu Zhangyuan wanted to run away. However, Night Sorrow's attack was too fast. Jiyu Zhangyuan had no choice but to swing his sword to block Night Sorrow's spear lights. Sword chi pierced through the air and blocked Night Sorrow's spear lights. However, the reincarnation spear was very close to Jiyu Zhangyuan's chest. After blocking the sword chi, Jiyu Zhangyuan's long sword shook again and blocked Night Sorrow's reincarnation spear. Chapter 588. Geniuses Remember Love in 1 Second? This is a wonderful novel for you to read. Night Sorrow thrust his spear into Jiyu's chest, then pressed his right arm down, cutting Jiyu's chest open and shattering his dantian. The reincarnation spear stopped in front of Jiyu's dantian. Night Sorrow and Jiyu stared at each other. Why? Jiyu's face was filled with unwillingness. He had just entered the venerable realm and was in high spirits, thinking that he had reached the peak of his life. But now it was all over. We have no grudge against each other, but your Jiyu family is too arrogant and owes me too much. I'm sorry. Night Sorrow shook his head and said, The Time Master of our Jiyu family will kill you. Then Jiyu Changyuan fell to the ground and died with his eyes wide open. Night Sorrow waved his hand and put away Jiyu's storage ring and long sword. He knew that the Venerable of Time mentioned by Jiyu was Jiyu Hao. At this moment Lan Yuxuan was still fighting with Jiyu Haiqing in the sky. Jiyu Haiqing was completely suppressed by Lan Yuxuan. The members of the god-slaying team either killed guards or rode their mounts to set up a fire in Jiyu family's territory. Lei Bao also set fire to the ancestral temple of the Jiyu family. Lei Bao, tell everyone to move faster and find the warehouse, Night Sorrow said to Lei Bao and the others. After a while Lan Yuxuan killed Jiyu Haiqing. Night Sorrow stood in front of the ancestral temple of the Jiyu family, watching the temple burn and then collapse. Half an hour later, the members of the god-slaying team returned. We found a secret room and collected a lot of spirit stones, pills and some mineral materials. We have given them to Liyue, Xueling said. Let's charge towards the City Lord's mansion. I don't think we'll even need to reach the City Lord's mansion to meet the City Lord's mansion's people. That's not a problem. If we kill our way there, the City Lord's mansion will be burned down. Night Sorrow rode Heavenly Feather in front. At the moment, the ancestral land of Jiyu family was ablaze. One could say that the ancestral land of Jiyu family was destroyed. Not long after they left the ancestral land of Jiyu family, the god-slaying team ran into the city guards. Led by Night Sorrow, the god-slaying team started a massacre. The city lord of Ji Royal City Lord Manor was a supremacy, but he wasn't Lan Yuxuan's match and was directly killed. Night Sorrow and the others had already landed on the ground and were killing their way forward. The members of the god-slaying squad who were free would set fire to both sides of the main street. Everyone knew that those who could set up shops on both sides of the main street were definitely not ordinary civilians. Let's go straight to the City Lord's mansion, Don't set it on fire. Night Sorrow shouted. In Night Sorrow's heart, revenge was a must. He also had to attack Jiyu family. However, he saw children hugging their mother's legs on both sides of the street. They didn't dare to enter the buildings because they were afraid that the houses would be burned down. Night Sorrow was a little touched by this scene. He didn't want these children to live a bad life because of his decision. The hatred was caused by the higher-ups of Jiyu family. Night Sorrow felt that it wasn't right to let the children bear it. Don't resist. Otherwise we will continue to kill. Night Sorrow waved his reincarnation spear and roared. At this moment, the city guards of Ji Royal City were frightened because their commander and captain had been killed. Glancing at the city guards who had retreated to both sides, Night Sorrow led the god-slaying team to the front of the city lord's mansion. Let's go. Don't leave any cultivators above stage 3 in the city lord's mansion. Also, check if there are any warehouses. Pay attention to the underground. Night Sorrow instructed. Then, the members of the god-slaying team started to move. Night Sorrow stood there with his reincarnation spear. What's wrong? Do you feel something? Lan Yuxuan came to Night Sorrow's side and asked. Yes. The consequences of war are very serious. I don't know how many people have lost their homes this time. Night Sorrow said with some emotion. It's not our fault. Jiyu family caused this, Lan Yuxuan said. Yes. War is cruel. Night Sorrow nodded. After a while, the city lord's mansion began to burn. Lei Bao and the other members of the Blood Strike Guard were all warlike. They would spare no effort to attack Jiyu family. Forever. Free of charge. Free of charge. Speak. Captain, we have a great harvest. Xueling led the members of the god-slaying team out of the city lord's mansion with a few big boxes. What are they? Night Sorrow asked. They are all spirit stones. There are more than 200 high-grade spirit stones and a few thousand medium-grade spirit stones. There are also materials for alchemy and weapon forging, Xueling said. Liyue take them? Night Sorrow said to Nan Liyue. Strange. Why didn't they put them in the storage rings of important people? Nan Liyue muttered to herself as she collected the materials. These are shared resources. They have to be counted and recorded. It's not something that can be managed by just one person, Sikong Chuyu said. That's a good thing. It's a good thing for us, Ling Long said with a smile. Ling Long Ho Jian Xueling, take some people and burn down the buildings that belong to the city lord's mansion. I will wait for you here. Remember, don't hurt the civilians. Supervisor Lan, you follow as well. Don't let any experts appear suddenly, Night Sorrow said. Yes. Everyone bowed, including Lan Yuxuan. Lan Yuxuan's cultivation was high, but Night Sorrow was a heaven's extremity emissary. She had to follow Night Sorrow's orders. Night Sorrow held the reincarnation spear and stood in front of the city lord's mansion. Yang Lei and Sikong Chuyu stood behind him. No one questioned Night Sorrow's decision. In fact, everyone knew that staying in front of the city lord's mansion was the most dangerous. Even if the experts of Jiyu's family came to rescue them, they would first go to a place like the city lord's mansion. After half an hour, the members of the god-slaying team returned. Their mission was completed. In other words, the real core industries and buildings of Jiyu's family were completely destroyed. Luli City, let's go. Supervisor Lan, come with me. Night Sorrow let out Tianyu and set off with the group. Night Sorrow was not afraid of being reported. The teleportation array of Ji Royal City had been destroyed by Lan Yuxuan. Even if someone wanted to report, it would not be so fast. Night Sorrow, did you kill a venerable realm expert today? Ling Long, who was following behind Night Sorrow, asked. That was a guy who had just broken through to the venerable realm. His strength was ordinary. It was nothing. Night Sorrow said. Ling Long did not say anything. The others also fell into deep thought and did not say anything. Night Sorrow did not care about it at all. However, he had broken a common rule. He had broken a taboo in the heart of an ordinary cultivator. It was also the shackle in the heart of a cultivator. Venerable realm experts were invincible unless they reached the venerable realm. This was also the reason why everyone below the venerable realm was treated as ants. The venerable realm was the dividing line for cultivators. There was no comparison between a void inquiry stage expert and a venerable realm expert. However, Night Sorrow had broken the common rule today. A void inquiry stage expert could also kill a venerable realm expert. Liyue, your harvest is not bad, right? This is the storage ring of that venerable realm expert. Night Sorrow threw Jiyu's storage ring and long sword to Nan Liyue. Chapter 589. Geniuses remember love in 1 second? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Captain, let's talk about the resources. If you fight alone, you can keep the loot. If you fight together, you can give the resources to the team. Just like the warehouse in GU's ancestral land and the resources in the mansion, they belong to the team. Everyone can enjoy them together. If you fight alone, you don't have to hand them in, Ho Jian said to Night Sorrow. Captain, this is also the result of our discussion, Xueling said. Okay, that works too, Night Sorrow said. Night Sorrow originally wanted to hand in the long sword. However, after holding it in his hand, he realized that it was a low-level spiritual weapon of the water element. He could give it to Sikong Chiyu. Jiwang City was still some distance away from Luli City. It would take 3 days to get there. Night Sorrow, this is the space crystal of Jiwang City's teleportation portal. It's very big. Even if you cut it, you can cut several parts. Jiyu's family is really extravagant. Lan Yuxuan, who was standing beside Night Sorrow, took out a space crystal and handed it to Night Sorrow. Holding the space crystal, Night Sorrow was stunned. The value of the space crystal was very high. Lan Yuxuan gave it to him just like that. Chuyu, what's the price of the space crystal? Night Sorrow looked at Sikong Chuyu and asked. It's usually exchanged for top-grade crystals. The price is determined by how many parts can be cut. The main body doesn't count. If you can cut one part, you can get 5 top-grade spiritual stones. Of course, if you can cut more parts, the price will be higher, Sikong Chuyu said. This should be able to cut 3 parts, which is 15 top-grade spiritual stones. Night Sorrow took out 15 top-grade spiritual stones and handed it to Lan Yuxuan. That's not necessary. How can I take your spiritual stones? Lan Yuxuan said. She took out the space crystal because it wasn't very useful to her. Besides, she took it out because she wanted to build a good relationship with Night Sorrow. Take it. You deserve it. Night Sorrow hesitated for a moment. Then he pulled Lan Yuxuan's sleeve and put the spiritual stones into it. Night Sorrow had his own standards. If he didn't deserve it, he would never take it. Because he had taken advantage of others, Yishan didn't want to lower his head in front of anyone. In terms of personality, Yishan would never let himself be in debt. This way he could always stand upright. Lan Yuxuan nodded. She knew that since Yishang had made his decision, there was no point in rejecting him. After flying for a day, the sky darkened and everyone began to set up camp to rest. Nan Liue, Ho Jian, and Xueling counted their gains in Ji Royal City. After checking, everyone was surprised. The harvest was too big. There were several hundred high-grade spirit stones, and there was no need to mention the mid-grade spirit stones. In addition, there were also a lot of alchemy materials and refining materials. Then, Nan Liue handed the elixir refining materials to Night Sorrow. That's a lot. When I'm done, I'll give you the elixir pills, Night Sorrow said. As long as we have enough elixir pills, Nan Liue said. After resting for a night, the group continued to move forward. The 2 most important bases of Jiyu's family were Jiwang City and Luli City. Jiwang City was the origin of Jiyu's family. It was very important and could be said to be the place to cultivate the next generation of the family. Luli City was the center of Jiyu's family business. It was a commercial city. It could be said that the lifeline of Jiyu's family was there. Inspector Lan, Luli City is an important city of Jiyu's family. If there are many venerables, we may not be able to take it down, Sikong Chuyu said. Free of charge. Read 1 novel, it doesn't matter. We're prepared. Someone will deal with the venerables. Lan Yuxuan opened her mouth and said. You're reading on novel full thanks, Lan Yuxuan said. Night Sorrow nodded. Sikong Chuyu's question was also what he wanted to ask. Although he was not afraid, he would never let his brother take unnecessary risks. When the group arrived outside Luli City, there were already people waiting for them. They were the 2 elders of Tianji Tower. The 2 elders did not wear masks. They wore veils mainly because they did not want to attract attention. Inspector Lan is here. The 2 elders said. This is the 2 heaven emissaries, Lan Yuxuan introduced. The 2 elders directly bowed to Night Sorrow and Ling Long. Then Night Sorrow found out that the 2 elders had arrived 2 days ago. However, they did not make a move. Because even if they did, the 2 of them would not be able to do anything big. If they killed the other party's venerables, the other party would be on guard. As for the venerables slaughtering the city, this was something that all the venerables disdained to do. Then the attack began. The 2 elders directly entered the city and went to kill the other party's venerables. Night Sorrow and the others also directly charged into the city. Attack, rob, and burn the businesses with the Jiyu family symbol. Don't touch the businesses of other forces. Also, don't hurt the innocent, Night Sorrow said. In Night Sorrow's eyes, the old, the weak, women, children, and cultivators below the third level were all innocent. The two elders of Tianji Tower killed their way in first. When Night Sorrow and the others rushed into Luli City, there were no Venerables opponents. Without any Venerables opponents, Night Sorrow and the others swept through. Jiyu family shops and businesses were destroyed one after another. However, Night Sorrow and the others also adhered to the principle. If they did not resist, they would not kill. Soon, they arrived at the city lord's mansion. In the sky above the mansion there were 4 people fighting. 2 of them were the Venerables of Luli City while the other 2 were the elders of Tianji Tower. The 2 elders of Tianji Tower had the absolute upper hand because the level of the Venerables of Luli City was not very high. The higher level Venerables had already been mobilized by Sky-bearing City to the battlefield in the Realm Sea. Kill our way in. After we're done, burn the city lord's mansion. Night Sorrow stood in front of the gate of the mansion and shouted. The members of the god-slaying squad had already killed their way in. They directly raised their weapons and charged towards the guards of the mansion. The cultivation bases of the guards of the mansion were very high. They were all at the Lake Void inquiry stage. In one-on-one combat, they were stronger than the members of the god-slaying squad. However, the members of the god-slaying squad did not only fight one-on-one. They also had joint formations which could kill their enemies with high efficiency. Who would be so free to fight one-on-one? Night Sorrow stood there without moving because there was no need for him to do anything. The guards of the mansion were indeed very strong. However, they were still not on the same level as the members of the god-slaying squad. After a short while they were all killed. Corpses were everywhere. After that, Ling Long and Nan Liue led their people and charged into the mansion. There was a storehouse of resources in the mansion which they must seize. The battle in the sky was also coming to an end. The 2 Venerables of Luli City were no match for the elders of Tianji Tower and were killed one after another. Lord Heaven Terminus Emissary, our mission has been completed. We need to go to the next place. After the 2 elders of Tianji Tower kept the spoils of war they obtained from killing the Venerables, they nodded at Night Sorrow and Ling Long and left. You don't want the resources? Night Sorrow looked at Lan Yuxuan and asked in surprise. Chapter 590. Genius 1 second. Remember love divided by go divided by little? We provide you with interesting novels to read. After collecting the resources from the underground warehouse, Ho Jin and Shui Ling divided the god-slaying team into several teams and continued attacking Valurium City. Love go little say Neku war is cruel. The Jiyu family was too arrogant. They finally paid the price for their actions, Night Sorrow said emotionally. Do you know why the Jiyu family developed so quickly? It's because they often start wars and make money from them. They should have thought of today's consequences, Sikong Chuyu said. That's the truth. The Jiyu family made a fortune from war. Naturally they lost because of war, Lan Yuxuan said. Now that we're done here, where are we going next? Yang Lei asked. There's no mission. The secret combat letter only asked us to attack these 2 places. We've already completed the mission, Night Sorrow said. The 2 places we attacked are the 2 most convenient cities. That's enough. If we attack other places they'll be prepared. Actually, this is a good result. We're just one of the teams in this war, Lan Yuxuan said. Yongju P/free novel F0. An hour later, the Jiyu family's forces in Valurium City were all eliminated. Night Sorrow ordered the team to retreat and rode their mounts back to Sky-bearing City. I wonder if there's a war in Sky-bearing City, Night Sorrow muttered to himself as he stood on Tianyu's back. There must be. There's no need to think about it. That's the core area of the Jiyu family. If we don't attack the Jiyu family's forces in Sky-bearing City, it'll be useless no matter how good our outer achievements are, Lan Yuxuan said. The war in Sky-bearing City will be fierce because the Jiyu family has many venerables in Sky-bearing City. Plus, the City Lord Mansion won't just sit by and watch, so it's hard to imagine how fierce it will be, said Sikong Chuyu. We'll know when we get back to Sky-bearing City, Night Sorrow said. He was quite anxious to know the specific situation of the war. After a few days the group reached the outskirts of Sky-bearing City. Night Sorrow, you guys wait here. I'll go back to the city to take a look and then come back to inform everyone, Lan Yuxuan said. Night Sorrow and the rest were stationed outside the city, waiting for Lan Yuxuan's news. 2 hours later, Lan Yuxuan returned and told everyone that the battle in Sky-bearing City was over. They could enter the city now. The group went straight to the Celestial Peak Pavilion. Inside the Celestial Peak Pavilion, Night Sorrow met Lin Yuandao. Supervisor Lan arranged for everyone to rest first. Night Sorrow, you and Ling Long come with me to the Dark Tower, Lin Yuandao said to Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow instructed Ho Jian and Xue Ling to lead the team and followed Lin Yuandao to the Dark Tower. Night Sorrow saw Lutrin Swan in the Dark Tower. Night Sorrow, Ling Long, you're all here. Lutrin Swan greeted them. Lord Tower, did we win this battle? Night Sorrow asked somewhat anxiously. No one won this time, but Sky-bearing City suffered a great loss, Lin Yuandao said. Then Lin Yuandao explained the situation of the battle. Lutrin Swan hadn't reached the Sovereign Realm as he'd hoped. He'd only reached the half-step Saint Realm. Wu Lingfei, Lin Yuandao, Guo and Lutrin Swan had gone to Lutrin Swan's mansion in Sky-bearing City to kill Jiyu Haitian. In the end, they'd severely injured Jiyu Haitian, but he'd still escaped through Lutrin Swan's defense. Then Wu Lingfei began to pursue Jiyu Haitian. Lin Yuandao, Guo and Lutrin Swan returned to the Realm Sea battlefield and began to attack Sky-bearing City's allied forces. At this moment, another saint from Sky-bearing City appeared and repelled Lin Yuandao and the others. She'd also injured Guo and said that if more saints participated in the Realm War, no one would be able to bear the consequences. However, at this time Eastern Xian's allied forces in Sky-bearing City and Western Nether City had already begun to move. The saint from Sky-bearing City had made it very clear that she didn't care about the Realm War, but saints couldn't attack non-saints from Sky-bearing City. This made the situation even more grim. Eastern Xian's allied forces were stronger than Sky-bearing Cities, but both sides would suffer great losses if they fought. Thus, both sides could only stop fighting. Of course, Sky-bearing City couldn't attack even if they wanted to, and Eastern Xian didn't want to suffer great losses. How's Aunt Fei's situation? Night Sorrow was most worried about Wu Lingfei's safety. Compared to Master Wu Kei, Jiyu Haitian's cultivation is indeed higher, but his battle prowess is not as good as Master Wu Kei's. Furthermore, Jiyu Haitian has been seriously injured. Besides, Master Wu Kei has the Polar Moon Wheel, so she is already in an invincible position. Lin Yuandao reassured Yi Shang. That's good. Quickly arrange for our forces to retreat. Once their venerables return, our other forces will be at a disadvantage, Night Sorrow said. That's already arranged. Don't worry. Lin Yuandao nodded to Night Sorrow. Does this mean that this realm war will end just like that? Ling Long asked. Yes, there's nothing we can do about it. That saint is very strong and I can't see her cultivation. In addition, she's very afraid of our Qinji Tower. She said that even if our Qinji Tower has a backer, we shouldn't go too far. If she didn't have scruples, we would have suffered heavy losses this time, Lin Yuandao said. Does that mean that our Qinji Tower also has a hidden saint expert? Night Sorrow thought for a moment and asked. It's possible, but I'm not sure. Now that the situation has stabilized, although we didn't completely eliminate the Jiyu family, we've greatly damaged their vitality, Lin Yuandao said. Is Supervisor Guo's injury serious? Night Sorrow asked. It's not a big problem. It's just that he hasn't advanced for long. He clashed with the other party and shook his origin, so he needs to rest for a while. Lin Yuandao nodded to Night Sorrow. Then I'm relieved. If there's nothing else, let's go back to the Eastern Profound Domain. Night Sorrow was a little anxious. He wanted to go back to the Qingxing cottage and see if Wu Lingfei had returned. I understand that you're anxious. Then you can go back. If there's any news about Master Wu Kei, let me know. Also, go back and rest and cultivate well. Let's not talk about the Qingtian domain first. There's still a battle in the Taiqing domain. The Tianfeng dynasty doesn't take our Qinji Tower seriously, so we'll beat them until they do, Lin Yuandao said to Night Sorrow. Now, Lin Yuandao had a deep grudge against the Tianfeng dynasty. After the Tianfeng dynasty left the stage of the Taiqing domain on Night Moon, the Yun dynasty guarded their own territory and didn't fight for it. This made the Tianfeng dynasty arrogant, thinking that they were the boss of the Taiqing domain. They even began to be hostile to the Qinji Tower and even squeezed the Qinji Tower's development. This made the Qinji Tower, which built its first base in the Taiqing domain, very angry, but they didn't take any radical measures and just maintained peace. This time, the Tianfeng dynasty once again interfered in the battle between the Qingtian domain and the Eastern Profound domain. This made Lin Yuandao angry and decided to give the Tianfeng dynasty a blow. Chapter 591. A Genius Remembers Love in 1 Second? We provide you with interesting novels to read. It's a pity that we didn't manage to hurt the foundation of GU clan. Night Sorrow sighed and said, "Not really. The war has indeed stopped. However, before that, Sword Venerable North Heaven led a team from the East Shen region and the North Sea region to kill a few people in Skybearing City. Many of GU clan's venerables were killed and most of their properties were destroyed by the Blood Robes guards of the East Shen region." Lin Yuandao said, "That's good. Lord K. Lord, if there's nothing else, we'll go back now." Night Sorrow said, "You guys did a great job this time. However, you've also made GU clan your enemy. So, be careful in the future." Lin Yuandao said. He was a little worried about Night Sorrow's safety. "Junior brother Yi should be fine. Lord K. Lord, you don't know that junior brother Yi killed a venerable from GU clan with just a few moves a few days ago?" Ling Long said with a smile. "Great. Killing a venerable before entering the venerable realm. You're the only one in the 9 regions and 18 prefectures. Alright, let's go back." After hearing Ling Long's words, Lin Yuandao was greatly shocked. One should know that Night Sorrow had yet to reach the peak of the Void Inquiry stage. When he enters the venerable realm in the future, his strength would be even stronger. Night Sorrow left and Ling Long followed him. The two of them arrived at the underground hall of the Celestial Peak Pavilion. "Senior sister Ling Long, are you going to stay in the headquarters for a while or go back together?" Night Sorrow looked at Ling Long and asked while walking towards the place where the God-slaying squad was resting. Ling Long smiled. "You shouldn't ask this. I'm a member of the God-slaying squad. Of course I'll go with them. Junior brother Yi, don't you like me?" Night Sorrow nodded at Ling Long. "Why wouldn't I like you? I just didn't know you well in the past. After fighting with you for a few times, I feel that you're not bad. So, it's really hard to get a good comment from you." Ling Long gave Night Sorrow a dissatisfied look. When they arrived at Lan Yushuan's courtyard, Night Sorrow called for the members of the God-slaying squad and led them to the Tianji Tower's strategic transportation array, rushing toward the eastern Shen region. Half an hour later, Night Sorrow led the group to Dongshen City. At this moment, Eastern Shen City was filled with a festive atmosphere because the Eastern Shen region had performed very well in this realm war. It was a great victory. Night Sorrow didn't care about this. He asked the others to lead the team back to Qingxin Cottage. He drove Tianyu to Tianji Tower. When they arrived at Tianji Tower, Night Sorrow asked Yin Shui and Ho Yuan. Neither of them knew anything about Wu Lingfei. Afterwards, Night Sorrow rushed to the City Lord's mansion and asked Lei Hua, who was handling matters in the City Lord's mansion. Lei Hua didn't know about Wu Lingfei's situation either. Left with no choice, Night Sorrow could only return to Qingxin Cottage. Riding Tianyu to the sky above Qingxin Cottage, Night Sorrow's heart suddenly trembled. He saw the silver-winged eagle king shaking its wings and combing its feathers outside the observation tower. In a flash, Night Sorrow landed in front of the observation tower and entered it. In the hall of the observation tower, Night Sorrow saw Wu Lingfei meditating with her eyes closed. Translator, Henyi Translations Editor. Wu Lingfei opened her eyes and nodded at Night Sorrow. "You're back. Have a seat." Night Sorrow looked at Wu Lingfei carefully and asked, "Are you all right, Aunt Fei?" "I'm fine. It's just that the Qingtian region wasn't prepared for another saint, so they didn't win the realm war." There was a hint of regret in Wu Lingfei's eyes. "There's nothing we can do about it. It's fine as long as you're not injured." Love Gone Little Say, Chu. Seeing that Wu Lingfei was safe and sound, Night Sorrow felt a lot more at ease. Gu Haitian isn't qualified to hurt Aunt Fei. As for him, even if he's not dead, he'll have to shed a layer of skin, Wu Lingfei said with a smile. What exactly happened? Hearing that Gu Haitian had suffered a setback, Night Sorrow's interest was piqued. Aunt Fei cut off his right arm and gave him 2 mysterious jade hands. His life source and meridians suffered a great blow. I don't think there's any possibility of recovery. In the end, he used blood escape, which caused him to lose even more essence blood. I think he'll have to recuperate for a long time. Wu Lingfei said. That's good. What do you think about the appearance of a saint in the Qingtian region? Night Sorrow asked. There's nothing to think about. It's fine if she doesn't provoke the Eastern Shen region, but if she provokes us, we'll see who's easy to provoke, Wu Lingfei said. Night Sorrow nodded. He knew that this was Wu Lingfei's character. If she had to fight, she would fight. Regardless of the outcome, she would fight to the death. Did it go smoothly this time? Wu Lingfei asked again. Everything went smoothly. And Fei, you're safe. Just inform Lord Quebec. They're all very worried, Night Sorrow said. Wu Lingfei smiled and told Night Sorrow that she had already arranged for someone to inform Lord Quebec. She had also just returned. After chatting with Wu Lingfei for a while, Night Sorrow returned to the main building in the backyard. When Night Sorrow returned, Yang Lei and Sikong Chuyu were drinking tea and chatting. Did you see Aunt Fei? Sikong Chuyu asked. Yes, Auntie Fei has returned, Yishang said. Then, while drinking tea and chatting, Night Sorrow told them about the situation that Lin Yuandao had told him. He also told them about the saint in the Qingtian region intervening. I didn't expect the region war to end like this, Yang Lei said. This also highlights the importance of the invincible venerables. When the saint is restrained and unable to make a move, the invincible venerables are the key to victory, Sikong Chuyu said. That's right. Yang Lei nodded. Next, we'll have a good rest and improve our cultivation, Sikong Chuyu said. Sikong Chuyu's character was gentle. She liked a quiet life and didn't like to cause trouble. She didn't like the days of going back and forth on the battlefield. Maybe not because Qinji Tower is probably going to go to war with the Tianfeng dynasty in the Taiqing region. The Tianfeng dynasty is too despicable. This time they had nothing to do with it, but they still got involved, Night Sorrow said. Then when will the war start? Yang Lei preferred a life full of challenges. Her character and Sikong Chuyu's were polar opposites. I don't know, but the Chief Tower Master mentioned this to me. It should be put on the agenda soon. The reason they haven't taken action yet is probably because they're recovering from the shock of the region war. After that they'll start the war, Night Sorrow said. Then we'd better improve our cultivation. You're lagging behind us. Sikong Chuyu changed the topic and didn't say anything about cultivating quietly. She was considerate. She didn't want her thoughts to affect Night Sorrow's train of thought. She didn't want to be a burden to Night Sorrow. Chapter 592. Genius 1 second. Remember Love Go Divided by Xiao? Shuang Web, providing you with wonderful novels to read. This book has been published for more than 3 months and I have written nearly 1.2 million words. All along I have asked for rewards, but today is different. This is the first time the website is holding an event, the Soap King event. Baidu search Love Go female sign Xiao Shuat www.ix. Everyone should know that this book has 1.2 million words and I have not missed a single 5 chapters a day, nor have I stopped. This is almost unheard of in web novels. I am doing this because of my persistence and conviction. It is also my principle as a person. A person's character is the quality of a book. If a person is not suitable for it, no matter how good the book is, it is useless. Because if people don't like you, they will not like your book. I can guarantee that this book will be updated continuously and will not be unfinished. However, if I don't participate in this event, it will be really embarrassing. I have never asked my friends who usually don't reward me, but this time the website is holding an event together, so I need everyone's support. Brothers and sisters who like Myriad Daos becomes a god, please donate 1 or 2 pieces of soap. It can be considered as a form of support for me. Thank you everyone. Forever, watch for free. 8 Xiao, Say B. The preliminary competition will last for 10 days from today to the 29th. The website is holding the Soap King event. Go and find Myriad Daos becomes a god to support me. In addition, this does not conflict with the reward. As long as the reward exceeds 200 yuan, I will add more chapters on top of the guaranteed minimum of 4 chapters. If there are 10 chapters, then I will add 10 chapters. Still the same sentence, I guarantee my character. Actually, I can set 2 chapters as a guarantee. 3 chapters as a guarantee, but I feel that since I am writing this book, I will continue to be violent until the end. For chapters as a guarantee, I can still persevere. Although my body is a little weak, I can still make up for it with less rest. Bow and thank all my brothers and sisters who support Shiboy and Myriad Daos becomes a god. You're tuning in to the Han Li's Wuxia Chronicles YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.